It's Friday, April 3rd, 2026. Let's start off, as we typically do, by letting you know that if you'd like to support our show, then you can go to supportourshow.com and select from the array of support options on that page. Somebody, I don't know if it's a listener. If it was, please let me know, because thank you. But somebody bought 3 Shieldred shirts.
Oh, cool.
Out of nowhere, which is the most I've ever sold of any shirt at one time, ever.
Oh,
so if it was a listener, thank you.
It wasn't me.
I appreciate it.
Although I was going to buy shirts.
No, I knew it wasn't you from the size.
Oh, he's a little. Okay.
I know you can't be wearing no extra small. So, yeah, I sort of figured it out that it was a petite individual of some type.
I was totally. I have the tabs still open on my browser because I was going to tie dye a bunch of them and make funny, like kind of a thing between your shirts and mine. Plus, I love that magic shirt that you did. I really do. Like, that design is so cool.
Wait, which one?
The one with the hands and all the symbols around them.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I really like that one too.
I love that design.
That's a perfect. That actually, there was a shirt that I had bought that was vaguely similar. It was a hand like casting a spell. And I got it because I liked the idea, but I never really liked the illustration, but it was the only one I could find like it. Yeah. And for at least 3 years, I was sitting there going, you have to make the version you want of this thing. And then I finally did it. And I really liked how it turned out. Yeah. I totally agree with that. That's awesome. But that's the one I had to do research on to make sure that none of the occults, those are all real occult symbols.
Oh, I know.
But I had to make sure none of them were evil.
Yeah,
so I had to make sure that they were all neutral or benevolent.
Yeah, that's always the hard part, isn't it?
Yes, it is, because some of the coolest looking symbols are, curse your worst enemy with huge rectal bleeding polyps. And
so I have an old magic talisman. I had it tattooed to my wrist. It was speaking of so when I was younger, I believed in I wanted to believe in magic, right? I wanted to believe, and I was still religious at that point. And I think that's the thing, is religion is like a gateway drug to magic, right? Because you can't have one without the other, as far as I'm concerned. So when I was younger, I was very into the occult and not silly occult, but I was into deep occult, because it's fascinating and it's shit that people actually believe in, and it's fantasy that appears to happen in the real world, right? I used to love that stuff. So so for years I had this very old talisman tattooed on my wrist that was a symbol of basically like long life and immortality. And it was one of these things where it was like, if you stare at it every day, it's supposed to grant long life and things like that. And it was like, amongst other things. And I loved it. And I had it on there, and it was kind of my weird little thing. And there was all this. I mean, I don't even know if you noticed, because it was so small and the writing on it was so little. And I only recently covered that up. I had it there for the longest time, and I finally, maybe a year ago, I had it covered up and just kind of blacked over it. But I was like, what's funny is that if it's real magic, it'll still be there. That's the beauty of real magic. If it's real magic, it won't matter that I covered it. It's still there. You etch these things on your body, and they are scarred into your soul. If they're real at all. So, anyway, yes, I appreciate that you did your research on making sure you weren't selling people cursed shirts. Could you imagine that if you put a curse symbol every time somebody wore your shirt? Man, wouldn't that that's a short story right there.
Because I don't believe in it, but I don't want somebody to...
Oh, you don't want to ruin someone's day.
Yeah, or somebody sees it. It's kind of like, you find these things out sometimes that... I think I've mentioned this before about the Wendigo thing, that you're really not supposed to say that word. It's actually
if you believe, yeah.
Well, no. It's not if you believe and I don't remember which tribe it is. I forget. But if you say it, that is okay. It would be like walking into a church and pissing on Jesus. Doesn't matter that you believe in it. It is offensive to the people in the church. It's that type of thing. Saying it.
But what I'm saying is, if you're alone in a church and you piss on Jesus, nothing happens to you.
Well, of course. Yes, obviously. Say anything you do when there's no one around doesn't matter.
If I'm alone at home. If I'm alone at home and I'm like, Wendigo, nothing happens because it's all bullshit.
But But I'm agreeing with your point that I don't do it as a habit because in case I happen to be in the presence of somebody and I don't know, I don't want them to suddenly be terrified that this thing will come after them at night.
I think that it's adorable. Again, that's the second time I've used that word for you tonight.
Well, I am.
That you think about this. That you worry about offending people with the word Wendigo. So good.
I don't know what the fuck button I just hit on that. Sorry. No, not delay. No, not. Oh my God. I'm hitting. Hold on. Okay, I did it right. I don't know what the fuck that button I did. There was some button I hit there, and I don't know what it did. So I was like,
God, we almost had a musical dilemma.
Almost. Okay, so I'm going to send you this thing because this is actually kind of a neat.
Let's see. Send me something. So
open that. I just like the fact of the way the web page is designed.
Is this rank your top 50?
Yeah, that's it. So.
Oh, so I'm supposed to click on this?
The trick is. Yeah, you're supposed to click on it. So the trick is we have to start from the first two, the same first two.
Wait, so I'm looking at FaceTime or iPod Touch.
All right, hit reload. What you want is. Well, actually, all right, tell me the next one you see. I'll do it.
I'll reload. AirPods or Mac Plus?
All right, stop. Don't do anything.
Okay.
AirPods or Mac Plus, because I'm sure I can have the same ones come up.
Oh, is this the top Apple 50?
Yeah, but they're randomized. I wish it started at the same ones, but it randomizes them. So I'm sure I can get to the same two. AirPods on the left, and then what's on the right?
Mac Plus on the right.
All right, hold on. Mac Plus. God, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, if this is actually got like that many things in it, it may be the numbers may be
it might be impossible. If it is, then it is. And then AirPods Pro. What was on the right?
Mac Plus.
Or original AirPods. Oh, original AirPods.
Original AirPods,
not Plus.
And Mac Plus on the other side.
Well, the interesting part is if I can get that to come up, it does mean there's a finite number. If I can't, it may be impossible. So I'm going to try.
I'm leaning towards impossible here.
Ooh, I got Mac Plus on the left, but not on the right. Hold on. But now I know what to look for because I didn't know what the hell a Mac Plus was. Well, this is how many Apple products. And there is a finite number because I'm seeing repeats. So there is a finite number in here. It's just going to be getting the combo right. Hold on. Oh, got Mac Plus on the right, but not the right left one. See, we're getting there. It can't truly be infinite. It will, it will pare down.
I don't know, man. If you have enough combinations.
Ooh, God, there's my pick almost for number one. I just saw it.
There could be thousands of combinations that you may be. I mean, this is the nature of the nature of numbers.
Ooh, got original AirPods, but not the Mac Plus. Hold on.
Yeah, and that's what's going to keep happening.
Hold on. Wave your tattoo around a little bit, and maybe it'll line up.
No, my tattoo is there. My tattoo is there just to keep me alive, dude. There's a difference.
Shake your tattoo.
It's not good luck. It's just don't die.
That's good luck. Hey,
those are specific. But
luck.
it's only good luck and not dying. It's very specific numbers there.
Listen, things can have lots of applications. Wow.
It's like charisma.
Close.
No,
they were within 3 screens of each other. Hold on. Come on.
This is why people can't just win the lotto.
Don't disturb it. It's getting there.
Don't question the magic.
My what do you call it is starting to align with its chakra. We'll get there.
My chakra, my feng shui, my dick thorn is aligning with the vagina circle.
What I should be doing is playing the Jeopardy music.
My 3-hole is beginning to open.
I am legitimately curious if I can get it to come up the same. Would the next one be the same? Because that would tell you that there's not really a randomization.
No, it will not be the same because it's a randomizer.
You don't know. You don't know that. You think that, but you don't know that. It may only be random up to a certain point.
That's true.
And
but
honestly,
considering that you
it
can't
doesn't
even
really
get
need
the
to be
start
random
to line up.
Well, that's because it's the initial point. Now, the initial point is the tricky bit. But then from there, it may not be randomizing in the way that it does to start. That's what I'm curious about. Because these things are not always as clever as people think. Oh, there it is. There's the pretty one. I like that. Let's see.
So anyway, explain this to people while you're doing this.
So this is I just happen to see The Verge has a thing because I don't know. Is it Apple's? They're ranking the top, the best Apple products of the last 50 years. I guess Apple must be 50 years old. I don't know because I don't care. Although that would explain why I keep hearing all these stories about Steve Jobs, who I could fucking never hear about again, and I'd be thrilled because he is not the genius everybody thinks he is. I mean, Jesus Christ! Some of the way these people talk about him, I'm like, okay, man, are you getting fucking royalties?
Listen. I think Steve Jobs was a smart businessman, and I think that he had pros.
Whoa. That's a very specific phrase you just used. You said smart businessman. I have no disagreement. None on that.
But even within the context of that, he had his pros and his cons. He was kicked out of his own company. Yes. So here's the thing. You know, did he do a lot? Absolutely. Was he perfect? No. But none of them are. You know? I agree with that, but people are like, there's never been anybody like Steve Jobs. Bullshit. There have been many people like Steve Jobs. Yeah. They weren't named Steve Jobs.
Oh, I was so close. Close.
This is how it works. This is how they get you to play the lotto over and over again. You get so close. The numbers get so close. And you just keep playing.
Yeah. That was very close, though. It was the Mac, but not the Mac Plus, but the same exact shape. So that was a pretty close one.
This is that's what I mean. Is these people talk about
probability. Him on deification.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. He's dead now, so he can be deified. Can't deify them while they're alive, because they'll tell you to go fuck yourself.
Oh, sure you can. You can. The Pope gets deified while he's alive, pretty much.
The Pope is just the Pope is just an older man in a dress. That's all it is.
All right, look, man. If people believe you have a goddamn hotline to God, then they've deified you.
Yeah,
because most people, hotline blows their head off.
Let's not go down this road. I've already said idiots enough tonight.
No, it's not that. I'm just saying that you can deify someone while they're alive.
Have you won the lotto yet?
Not yet. I'm trying. Hey, whatever. The miracle is that I can talk and pay attention to this at the same time.
Right. Well, shall we move on to other things then?
Just keep that screen up. You talk about something. Listen, I'm going to keep doing this.
It's right here. It's right here. Still on iPod, original AirPods, and Mac Plus.
I got 2 cherries out of 3. I'm working on it.
And you always will. Yeah.
I always will. Did you have anything to start with or no?
I might have, and then I was totally distracted by the
son of a bitch. Close again. Keep going.
By you playing the lotto over there.
Yeah, I'm so actually. I will say this as I go through these. It is interesting because you can tell right away which ones of these
whether
images.
You've lost.
No. Look, we lost it as we started. But which of these images were hand-drawn schematic type images, and which ones they clearly just took off of Apple's website? Because you can see the quality gets very clean.
Well,
after a certain point.
Do have some stuff we can talk about, which is number one.
Good. As soon as you get into it, I'll hit it. So go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. So Mila March is coming to an end soon.
Sadly.
Right?
Sadly.
Yes and no. I mean, listen, she's had some good ones, but we're discovering that she has a knack for finding some really bad movies.
Well, no, I would say the last week has proven that, holy shit, there's some weird stuff in here.
Yeah, there is.
Weird stuff.
So Joe and I have not finalized yet what we are going to do in the future. So I'd actually open it up to a round table. If somebody has a theme that they'd be fascinated by, it doesn't mean that we'll automatically do it, but if we're interested, we will. I threw
No.
the idea around to Joe to watching kaiju movies, right? Because there's a lot of older ones I haven't watched, and I thought that'd be interesting. But if
and
there
I have
are
all of Godzilla movies to go through, so
that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, there's so many outside of just the Godzilla movies. There are so many different kaiju things. But if somebody has an interesting idea for something that they would actually be genuinely fascinated for us to watch, a theme, a show, movies by a certain actor, let us know. Send in your suggestions.
sure.
Because as of this moment, we have got ideas, but nothing nailed down. But this whole Mila March thing is proving the fact that, yeah, it is interesting because, she's got her mainstream flicks, but then there's a lot of other weird shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wife, by the way, is utterly done with us.
Your wife was done a week ago, wasn't she?
She is so tired of hearing me go on about Mila movies.
Not mine. Mine is always like, how was it? She's interested.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I got original AirPods and original AirPods Pro next to each other. That seems like it should almost be like a time-dimensional warp thing. Okay. It's weird.
Remember, the nature of random is that it can do anything.
Yeah, except come up with the thing I'm waiting for.
Well, that's exactly what it is,
But yeah, So as a bit of a, I won't say what movies. I know because our final film will be on a Monday, and our typical watching schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I know what Wednesday, Friday are. They have a theme. Not that they're related, but they do have a theme to them. But just as a filler until we figure out what our next. Yeah, there's a connection. One which I've seen, one which I have not, but it sounds really interesting. Might not be. And a movie I'd never heard of. Not the second one. So we'll see. Because
it's always fun when you haven't seen them. Because
yeah. Well, I mean, this one sounds legitimately very good, and yet I never heard of it, which is odd.
Yeah.
But it sounds very creative and different, and yet I never heard of it. It's got a very unique name that I would think I would have come across it. So close.
Well,
but no,
I picked up an interesting book and I've started reading it. I haven't finished it yet, but I just want to mention it.
The nature of randomization. We're living it.
I know. So we were talking about Tom King recently. How Tom King is part of that Green Lantern series they're trying to do. That we're not sure how it's going to. Yeah, but he did a Black Canary book for DC that I was always fascinated by, and I was waiting for it to be connected, to be put together.
Collected. Yeah.
Collected. There you go. And
not
it recently,
connected. I was going to say connected to what?
Oh, connected to itself. So it's not just random issue.
Oh my God. For a second, I thought I'd seen it and clicked right through it because I was listening to you. Woo, I didn't. I realized what it was. Go on.
So he's doing this.
That would have been something. Holy shit, so Jesus!
He's doing this Black Canary book, and I'm not done with it. I'm two issues into it, but I just wanted to mention it because it's an interesting setup. I don't know yet whether this is going to be one of the good Tom King books or one of the bad ones, but the whole book is built around the fact that Black Canary and Lady Shiva from the DC universe are having a no holes barred, no powers.
Is this best of the best?
Yes, hand-to-hand combat fight to decide who is the best hand-to-hand combat fighter. Which, by the way, I didn't know that Black Canary was supposed to be like an amazing.
Oh yeah, that's like one of her kind of what do you call it? That's been a hallmark of the character since the beginning.
Well, I knew that she was a great fighter. I didn't realize that she was so good.
Yeah, she's like the guy with the cat outfit who's always got the loose. Oh God, what's his name? Who's also like he's a boxer. He was one of the original Justice Society. Yeah. What's his name?
Yeah, I never remember his name,
Catman or whatever. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy.
So the setup of the book is really interesting because the fight starts right at the beginning of the book. And it's like a traditional boxing match in a ring. You've got these hosts sitting there talking lots of shit in a big crowd. And they show like the other DC people are watching it on television, right? And the book takes place in basically parallel. It's like early and later, right? So later is the fight, and then early is the build up to the fight where she's training. And it's interesting because you've got the boxing match constantly going on in the background. And you're kind of reading this going, yeah, why is she doing this? And by the second issue, you discover the fact that her mother has an illness, who's the original Black Canary, and there is a shady businessman who has the cure, but won't give it to her unless she does this match. And she's supposed to last until the 6th round and then throw the match. Because the thing is, she's a long shot. Everyone's betting that Lady Shiva will kick the shit out of her. So she has to survive until the 6th round and then go down. And if she does, this guy will give her mother the cure. It is a strange, strange book. I don't know yet, like I said, if it's going to be one of the good Tom Kings, but I'm not bored with it. And it is a fascinating kind of 2-tier system where, you've got the match going and then they keep cutting away. And honestly, it helps to keep it from getting boring in that sense that whenever you start to get whenever the drama kind of starts to build up on you, you switch to the two of them kicking the shit out of each other. So yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to be, because it's also a limited run too. This isn't one of like the mainstream books. And I've found that normally with Tom King, if it's not a mainstream book, it's a really good story, or at least it's an interesting story. So I wanted to mention that I was reading it. That it was kind of interesting.
You said you're 2 or 4 issues in. How many? 2?
I'm 2 issues in.
Okay. It's apparently it's 6 issues is the first run.
Yeah.
I saw.
He did an other series that I also picked up that you might be interested in called Helen of Windhorn.
I've heard of this. I know very little about it, but I've heard of it. Damn.
Yeah, so I'll read you the blurb on it. I'm fascinated by this because this is I mean I'm pretty sure it's a DC publication, but it's not a DC story. It's its own thing, and it's basically following the tragic death of her late father, C.K. Cole, the esteemed pulp writer and creator of the popular warrior character Ozone, which I think is a Conan analog. Helen Cole is called back to her grandfather's enormous and illustrious estate, Windhorn House. Scarred by Cole's untimely passing and lost in a new strange world, Helen wreaks drunken havoc upon her arrival. However, her chaotic ways begin to soften as she discovers a lifetime of secrets hiding within the myriad rooms and hallways of the expansive manor. For outside its walls, within the woods, dwell the legendary adventures that once were locked away within her father's stories. And this sounds like looks like a really neat fantasy story that kind of sounds like it kind of, he's supposed to be what's his name, the guy who wrote Conan, what's his name, is it Matthew Richard,
not Arthur. No, Arthur Conan Doyle is what do you call it?
That's Sherlock.
God, what is it? No, I know.
Hold on, I'll get it right. Conan creator,
the Psycho,
Robert E. Howard, that's what it was.
That's it. I knew it was
always, honestly, whenever I see a photo of Robert Howard, he looks like he looks like a mob boss.
Does. Yeah, I do have the guy's face memorized because he does look like a hitman.
So it kind of sounds like this is supposed to be kind of a metaphor for Conan and for Robert Howard, and then goes on from there. So I'm curious. I don't really get a lot of good fantasy books lately. That's one of the reasons why I kind of like Rick Remender, because Rick Remender does a lot of kind of sci-fi fantasy, but especially in comics, it's we're leaning.
Damn.
We're drifting away from fantasy, and I realize to some degree that's why that Monster Hunter movie appealed to me, because we just don't get a lot of that anymore. I mean,
it's true. Yeah.
And what fantasy we do get is it is what do you call it when it's all part of the same
hardcore? What do you call it?
It's like
epic fantasy.
We keep getting Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? No one's doing.
That's what I'm saying.
Fantasy.
Epic, grand, instead of the smaller scale stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is, don't get me wrong, I'm amused as fuck that Stephen Colbert is going to write a fucking Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's probably the best person to do it. Outside,
have you read about this at all?
Apparently, a lot of people I have, and in fact, I saw a lot of people that were saying, "Why is this comedy guy writing this? What does he know?" And it's like, okay, you guys really don't know shit, because
he absolutely adores it.
Outside of Christopher Lee, who's not available, I cannot think of another celebrity who has openly espoused his adoration and knowledge of a property more than Colbert and the Lord of the Rings stuff.
And even the way he came up with it, which is he said that essentially there's several chapters they didn't use from Lord of the Rings that I think it's just the 3 hobbits. And he was like, I wonder if you could tell this story after the fact, because it wouldn't get in the way of the original
it's post Frodo going to the whatever, right?
Yeah, and it would still
the Veiled Lands or whatever it's called.
Yeah, with a little bit of like kind of adjusting, it would still fit into the larger story. And I was like, there you go. I like the fact that somebody, a fan, essentially said, hey, this is a part of the original story. This is the thing is, this is not like a prologue or an epilogue or some notes that...
He's not making it up out of thin air.
No, he's not. These are actual chapters that were just not used because, there's a lot of shit there that they skipped around. And Colbert and his son, who I guess is a screenwriter, are basically going to do the screenplay treatment. Peter Jackson's already on board with it. Like, everyone seems to be very on board. And because the Late Show is shutting down, he suddenly has the time to do it. So I was like, okay, I find it amusing. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And yet, the problem is still, we're getting more Lord of the Rings movies. We're not getting anything new. And the thing is, in the 80s, especially in the 80s, there was a lot of random, interesting fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
And was it always good? No. But you know what? We got Beastmaster.
Dragon Slayer, Krull.
Conan. Some of these are based off books, but you got lots of different properties. Whereas today, and maybe this is
Lady
the whole...
Hawk.
Yo, yeah, Lady Hawk. Oh, God, it's so good. We get a lot of... maybe we shifted off. Maybe fantasy, that was just the period for fantasy, and then we switched, in the same way that there was the time period where everything was a Western. There was a fantasy period, and now we're in, then there was the superhero period, and now we're in the... I don't know what the hell we're in now. What are we in now? What is the most prevalent movie coming out? Other than unoriginal ideas.
I'm so out of touch at this point. I don't know. I really don't. I don't care anymore either. I've just come to realize I've passed the point of pop culture mattering to me that much.
I keep an eye on aspects of it because it does affect me, but I'm not in it. I'm not in it anymore, and it's not made for me anymore.
I'm not going to say I don't know anything. But as far as movies that come out now, I don't care.
You know what? I find lately that I find the trailers to movies more entertaining than some of these movies.
Sure.
You know what?
The most exciting thing that's coming out is the new Ghost in the Shell series, which looks phenomenal.
It's a 2-minute music video. It's like having MTV, but not.
I suppose. Yeah.
Honestly, if you get the right...
I'm not going to say there aren't good trailers. I don't care.
If you get the right music, and it's edited right, it's a music video. That's all it is.
Well, sure. Yeah. There's always,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the last trailer I saw that I was like, ooh, that actually got me excited. I watched the old Phantom Menace ones. I talked about that.
Oh, yeah,
which are better done than most of the new shit, to be honest. But, like I said, the Ghost in the Shell one, that's about it's the last one I watched, which looks like they're trying to replicate the manga drawing style, which looks great. I have no idea what the story's going to be.
Yeah.
But they've made it look like his original drawings. And in fact, I don't even know if there was any computer generation in it that I could really make out.
Interesting.
It all looked like... I'm sure there is. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there is. But it wasn't obvious. Well, let's see. Hold on a minute. All right, I give up on the Apple thing. I tried. I did. I've tried this whole time. I did. But I'm not going to waste the whole show just sitting here. I've clicked it so many times at this point that I'm like, the tab's just going to melt. Let's see. Have I watched any trailers? There's the Ghost in the Shell one. Is there any other trailers that I've watched lately? Let's see. You know what? It used to be QuickTime had the trailers page. That was so nice.
Oh, shit. I go to firstshowing.net.
Oh, okay.
I go to firstshowing.net, and then I click on trailers.
I don't think I've been to that site, and I can't even tell you how long. I don't know what that site was. Good thing it didn't load. Firstshowing.net, but I left the S off.
Oh, yeah, First Showing.
I don't know what firsthoeing.net is.
Oh, yeah, because there's a new trailer. I haven't seen the new trailer for the Ghost in the Shell anime series.
Oh, it looks very good.
Yeah, but if you click on trailers, they'll show you all the trailers that have come out
trailers.
recently.
Trailers. Here we go. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Have I seen any of these? Here be trailers. No. No. All right. Well, Ghost in the Shell, yes. I said that already. No. 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 No.
Oh yeah, I
No.
haven't seen any of these new ones recently either. Hold
No.
on.
There's one with a shark jumping on a boat. I always like those. No. I'm on the second page now.
Yeah, I'm on the second page too.
So
Shit.
far.
Fuck, I was on this page not that long ago.
You know what?
Pressure. I watched the trailer for Pressure. That's the D-Day movie with Brendan Fraser.
Oh, no.
But I'm a
You know what
sucker
the last
for
one I
World
saw
War II
was?
movies.
I
Yeah.
know what the last big time movie was. The Spielberg Disclosure Day during the Super Bowl. They played it, and I watched it because we were watching the Super Bowl, and I couldn't have cared less.
Oh, my wife and I watched the Sheep Detectives trailer because Emma Thompson does one of the voices.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's not me. I just
No,
I
man,
don't.
yeah, you're right. What trailer have I watched last that I was actually like, hey, that looks fun?
Yeah,
Shit.
Besides Ghost in the Shell, nothing.
No,
God.
I'm scrolling back now. Oh, you know what? Actually, there was the last trailer I watched was for the movie Wild Horse 9, and that's the guy who did En Bruges, The Banshees of Inisherin, and it's Sam Rockwell and John Malkovich, and it's the CIA in the 70s.
Oh, you know what? Well, that's not a trailer though. Never mind. That doesn't count as a trailer. It was a clip. I watched a clip of the new Darth Maul Shadow Lord thing, where he gets off the ship and it's playing the Duel of the Fates thing.
Oh yeah,
and that was neat. It was neat to see him look threatening again and actually like a good villain again. And that music was,
which is funny
nice
because
to go with him.
isn't he the protagonist of that?
Well, he's starting to realize the Empire basically used him and dumped
Fucked
him,
him.
and he's getting pissed about it. So that's, you know what? I'm okay with that. If it's good, I'll watch that because I always liked the character. I just never got a good version of him. I mean, I know he's in the Clone Wars and stuff, but I mean, I never got something completely around him. If this is completely around him and it's good, I'll watch it.
Lucas didn't really know how. Lucas creates the character, has this great actor depict him, does all this great shit, and then just gets rid of him. And then leave it to Dave Filoni to come in and be like, no, there's more to do here.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm more. It's gonna sound weird. We're gonna get into a weird detail here with Darth Maul. I'm more afraid of Darth Maul post Phantom Menace, right? Because he's been cut in half, right? And I'm telling you right now, if I were a Sith Lord, right? And not only did I lose a fight, and basically was kind of like shit canned by my Sith master, right? By the one of the guys involved with my, because Obi-Wan is teaching Anakin. The fact that I had no penis, I'd be fucking livid. Because it's like, okay, I got no legs, and I have no penis. I've been fired from my job. I was like, I'm fucking angry. I mean, I look at Darth Maul, and I feel his pain. Because he's got no outlet anymore.
I don't know that he doesn't have a penis.
He's lost, well, unless he's got a robot one.
No. I don't know where his genitals are located. Not everybody keeps the genitals in the same place.
That is a really... Hold on. Let's find out. What is Darth Maul?
Maybe his earlobes like the Ferengi. Maybe it's all about the ears, man.
This is a great nerd quest to find out where Darth Maul's
all right.
genitals were.
I have a show title. Sith Genitals.
All right, let's see.
Done.
What type of janitor? What kind of
janitors do the Sith have? I don't know.
All right, so Maul is a Dothomerian. Okay, hold on.
Sure.
Dothomerian.
Yeah, of course he's a diphthong. Of course he is. Yeah, great.
He's a diphthong. Hey, hold on.
Diphthong, not dickthong.
No,
he may have a diphthong. I
said diphthong on purpose. That wasn't a. It was a play on words. All right, let's see.
Sure.
Dothomerian Zaburg. Okay. So, shortly known as a Dathomorian. Okay. Where are their genitals? Here we go. Their genitals are located in the same region as in humans and other mammalian species, situated in the pelvic region.
Okay.
Yep, so they cut his dick off. They cut his dick off. They cut his asshole off. They cut all that shit out. I mean, basically, from the waist down, it's all just robot shit. And think about what that must do to your mood. I mean, he was already an angry kind of evil guy.
I don't know. I mean, wouldn't that make him more placid because he's lost his testosterone?
That's what I mean. On one hand, it might make him like a eunuch, right? But obviously, because there's a whole movie about him being pissed off at everybody, that's not what happened. I mean, honestly, I think you could, but I mean, I guess, yes. I mean, that's funny, actually. He should have become a eunuch. That's what should have happened to Darth Maul.
I mean, this is, by the way, this is
right.
the critical problem with us applying human anything to this character.
No.
I
think that's so funny.
And location of genitals or not, for all I know, or whatever he is, maybe they have sex the way they did in Demolition Man with the two headsets. I don't know. So, I mean, once you're in the Force, I'm guessing that your balls aren't the only way to achieve ejaculation. You know what I'm saying?
I've never heard of someone force fucking somebody.
Well, it's because they haven't explored that. We haven't gotten the X-rated Jedi movie yet.
Is that the next Darth Maul movie?
You know what? Hold on. Here, let me put myself on a list. Can
if you think you're not on a list already?
Hold on. How do you spell psychically fuck?
Can Jedi psychically fuck?
No. I said can Force users psychically fuck? Oh boy. Oh God. Why am I getting these results? Oh, you know why? Probably because... Oh, I see why. The use of Force. They're thinking non-consensual. Sorry. Can Sith psychically fuck?
Oh. No. Hold on. This just took it in a completely different fucking direction, right?
I hope you didn't get the same thing I just got.
No. Jedi are not celibate and can have physical sex. Confirmed by George Lucas. But they are forbidden from forming emotional attachments or possessive relationships. So basically, you can be a Jedi whore.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, that's they established that. Yes, you just can't be in a relationship, but you can do whatever you want physically.
So Jedis can be basically like swingers if they want. They just can't get attached. You can have as many one-night... Man! You can have as many one-night stands as you want as a Jedi and still be considered to be like... Oh, he was a great and noble Jedi.
Okay,
he fucked everyone. He fucked everyone in Coruscant.
Coruscant, yes. My search came up with the best question posed in a science fiction and fantasy forum.
Yes.
Why don't the Sith use sex to fuel their power? The Sith code says peace is a lie, there is only passion, and yet they only use anger, hatred, and fear to power their strength. Now, sex is considered a bad thing for Force users, seeing how the Jedi ban it. Incorrect. So why... Yeah, see, this guy misunderstood. This tells you something about people and what they read into things. This person said sex is considered a bad thing for Force users, seeing how the Jedi ban it. In one of the Darth Bane novels, a woman is kicked out of the Jedi Academy for falling in love with another Padawan. That's not sex, guys.
Oh,
it's not the same thing.
Did Darth Maul die a virgin? It seems very likely, because
based on what?
Because he was training with the Sith, with Sidious from birth till the Phantom Menace. It's very possible that Darth Maul never actually had sex.
No, okay, all right, okay. No chance. Let me tell you something. I guarantee Sidious was abusing that kid from the beginning. That kid fucked lots of things. No way. No, I'm telling you. No. These creatures are, if they are the inversion. I mean, seriously, listen, I'm not making this up.
That is the quote of the night right there. That's the soundbite. That kid fucked lots of things.
There's your shirt. No, what I'm saying is...
God. No, you know what? Listen, I just want a picture. That's a shirt. I just want a picture of Darth Maul smiling and have it just say underneath him, that kid fucked lots of things.
with smiling with one drop of sweat coming down the side of his head.
Oh, my God.
No. The way the movies present the Sith is that they're the inversion of good. And if the Jedi's thing is
so why can Jedis have one-night stands and then the Sith can actually, get in romantic relationships that feel like it?
I'm just saying that there is no way that Darth Maul was a virgin. No way. No chance in hell.
Okay, so hey, listen, there's nothing in the code of the Sith which forbids sex.
Right. Of course not. If in fact, because somebody says right here, the Sith code is peace is a lie, there is only passion. Well, you just take it one step further. Yeah.
Sith
here,
are seduced
the
by
ultimate
power.
goal.
Okay, hold on. In general, however, the Sith are seduced by power rather than sex. They are probably so obsessed with power that they don't really care much about sex. It's not that they are opposed to sex. It's just that it's a low priority for them.
But let's consider what you and I have talked about many times.
Oh, here you go. No, hold on.
When it comes... Yeah.
Darth Malgus took a Twi'lek slave girl as a lover. Valkorion had 3 children. These are characters depicted in the video game Star Wars The Old Republic, which allowed Sith players to have sexual encounters. Some other characters let's see. There is no mention of lovers for most of the Banite Sith, probably because their Sith were few in number and in hiding. Palpatine. Listen, legends do suggest that Palpatine had concubines after he became Emperor, though it's not certain that these women were physically intimate with him.
Okay. But remember, this is the thing.
We're missing out on some Star Wars shit here.
Based on... Palpatine he's human, right? Palpatine was a man, right?
Yeah, he was human, yeah.
He was human. Okay. So, I can't speak to everything, but if in fact Sidious was Palpatine, same character, so still a man.
Yeah.
Therefore, we can infer human qualities, or lack thereof, on Palpatine/Sidious's influence on Maul. Therefore, while the sexual drive itself may not have been present, the quest for domination and power was, which is at the root of rape, sexual assault, and many other sexual crimes. Therefore, I'm not saying that Darth Maul ever had a pleasant sexual relationship, but I guarantee you he was not a virgin. That's what I'm saying. So, no. From whatever means, I do not for a second believe Maul went to his grave a virgin. No chance. None. So, take from that what you will.
No, I find the whole thing fascinating. But I always looked at Darth Maul and I thought, it must suck to have nothing from the waist down. Like, that must fuel your anger. To not only to have lost it all in the service of the Sith, and then to have the Sith be like, you know what, dude? You're not really any good at this anymore. Fuck off.
I am unclear on whether that is a factor. I'll just say it like that. I'm unclear on that. I would not be surprised, and in fact, it would make some sense to me, if Maul was driven more by the betrayal aspect as opposed to losing his penis.
Well, no, listen, I'm not saying that losing his penis was the main thing he was angry about. I'm just saying it's another outlet to his frustration that he lost.
Well, it depends. Actually, in a sense, it may have actually been a benefit to him. Because
it made him very single-minded in his response?
Well, I mean,
God.
I wasn't even going that far.
Dude, I was looking shit up, and I stumbled into Darth Maul porn so easily. Holy shit!
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, he was in good shape, and he had cool tattoos.
He had great tattoos.
If in fact he was violated in the way that I'm sure he was, having that.
Are you saying that Darth Maul was like a sexual assault victim? Is that part of the Sith?
Yeah. I totally believe that. Absolutely.
Interesting. That makes it even
think
worse.
Sidious dominated him in every way. That's why I'm saying I don't believe he was a virgin. Was he a willing sexual partner? Probably not. But that doesn't matter in the definition of virgin.
Reddit has a really good question on this, though.
Sure.
Does Darth Maul have a black penis, or does he have a red penis with black pattern marks on it?
What's his actual skin color?
Doesn't say.
I think it's black. I think Sith are actually black, and it's Sith skin.
Because I thought
color.
they're marking because his body's mostly red.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Let's see. They are it doesn't. I mean, if tattooing is part of like
I don't think they're
pain,
tattoos. I think they're
they're red. It's red, so it's red.
Oh, so he's red.
Yeah.
Base skin color is red.
They don't have the patterns at birth. They don't have all that patterning. There's a child right there, a picture of it, and they're just a kid with black hair.
Are you kidding me? Is that all fucking tattoos? I thought that was like the natural markings of their species.
As far as I could tell, no. The bones are. The bone things coming out.
He tattooed his eyelids. Holy shit.
I'm looking.
That is some...
Because all these pictures of the young ones, they're all red. They're all just red. Technology.
You know what? You know when you see a children's costume?
There's a lot of them with nothing on there. With no tattoos at all.
A children's costume, and you think that's nowhere near as scary as the original? Yeah. I just saw this children's costume, and I think it might actually be scarier than the original.
Oh my god, that's great. Yeah, that looks like he's wearing this. He looks like he's wearing Darth Maul's skin, like Hannibal Lecter style.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be like a knit hat, but the way he's wearing it, it's like he pulled somebody's face over it.
Yeah, if you do a search for Sith, there's a lot of them with just red skin.
Aye.
Yeah.
Oh,
hold on.
Man.
Now let me make sure because
God, he tattooed his eyelids.
Hold on.
That is some shit right there.
The Gould? That's them, right? No.
Who?
No, that's a different thing. What's his species again?
Oh my god! I gotta go back into like.
Hold on, Darth Maul. Let me just look up Darth Maul.
I gotta go back pretty far for that.
Here it is. Maul is a what? What is he? He is a Dathomirian Zabrak.
There you go. Yeah, you pronounce it as shitty as I do.
I sure do. Well, it's not in Spanish, otherwise it'd be fluent. Let me see. He's a... Okay, so the species is Zabrak.
Darth Maul only has 9 minutes of screen time in episode 1.
Yeah, he's
that just goes to show you. That just goes to show you.
Yeah.
That if you're really good, 9 minutes is all you need.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. Hold on.
Oh my god, I didn't know this. I just found a list of things you didn't know about Darth Maul. Did you know who the other actor was who was in the running for Darth Maul?
Harrison Ford. I don't know who. No.
Fucking Benicio del Toro.
Well, that would have been interesting.
What a different movie that would have been.
He got into a different Star Wars, so he got there.
Interesting.
All right, so I'm trying to see if Zabrak are tattooed or not, because I'm seeing pictures of them without tattoos. So yeah, I think those are all tattoos. I think they are. Which that's awesome. I'm pretty sure.
Tattooing your eyelids is fucking intense.
Tattoo. Like I said, yeah.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Are his patterns natural or tattooed?
Has full body black tattoos covering his red skin. Yes.
There it is.
Jesus Christ. That's
they get their first tattoos. They get tattoos before their first birthday. Ho! Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some intense shit right there.
Yep. See? So, red. Tattoos, I can't speak to. Never saw it.
Wow.
But one would assume.
Yeah.
One would assume if he was willing to tattoo his eyelids, he went all the way.
Yeah. I mean, like, most of his head is tattooed black. Holy shit.
Yeah. No, I'm going to guess that his little lightsaber has some patterns. Just guessing.
I shouldn't talk shit about Darth Maul. I just want tattoo above the neck. The neckline is where I stop. I go by Yakuza rules. I don't go below the ankles. I don't generally go beyond the wrists, and I don't go above the neck. You got to be able to hide it in the suit.
Okay.
So I wouldn't make a very good Sith.
Guess not.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, I just got completely distracted by Darth Maul and his.
That's fine. No problem.
And the loss of his little lightsaber, as you like to call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, this shit shouldn't be so funny, but it is.
It's very funny.
Oh god, you have anything else? Anything else you would like to get into before?
No. Wait. No. We can get into it. Because I again, we're 50 minutes in. I'm sitting here. Okay, we talked for what, 20 minutes? Nope, 50.
You know, listen, Darth Maul's penis is interesting. And what may have happened to it? you know, and what it does to you as a person, you know.
It is.
And by the way,
funny to me.
Yeah.
That occasionally I will instinctually react with the deep nerd knowledge that I still have about these things, where I'm like, no. And then to have to get into the fact that your casual Darth Maul was a virgin thing. I'm like, no. Let's talk about what sexual assault is. And the fact that Sidious...
I love that I was like, oh no, he was a virgin. And you were like, no, he's a sexual assault survivor.
Yeah, seriously. Because, again, the thing is, Sidious Palpatine was a human male.
I mean, that makes...
Therefore...
If that were true, right, which this is no way of knowing, right, but if it were true...
It's not documented, but I'm telling you it's true.
But it makes Sidious so much more disgusting.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I think it is interesting to your point about Darth Maul being more interesting far after the movie that was introducing him. If they had just made him another Sith Lord, he might have been, in the grand scheme of things, somewhat forgettable.
Yeah.
But now, because of the trauma he suffered and the likely abuse that he suffered, as well as the betrayal by the Empire, who didn't give a fuck about aliens, let's keep in mind.
Yeah.
So it's all there. Like, it's all there.
Yeah, and the thing is, it
makes it more interesting.
In the shows that Filoni did, Darth Maul is a tragic character because he's raised to believe one thing. He isn't capable of giving them what they want, so they chuck him, right? And then he turns around and goes, oh, fuck you guys, and starts doing his own thing. And then he has this... I mean, listen, I can agree with your point of view on this, because he has this near pathological madness of revenge on the Empire. He's not a good guy, but he's not necessarily... He's not a bad guy necessarily anymore. He's just... He kind of hates everybody. And the fact that...
Honestly, the closest analog is he's a collaborator. He's a Jewish collaborator with the Reich. That's what he is.
But the fact that
the Empire hated aliens.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I always forget that, by the way, that they hated aliens.
Yeah, but it's very central to... Like, that's why Thrawn is such an exceptional character. Is because he was so good.
They couldn't
the Emperor was like, don't worry about it, man. This guy is better than all of you dopes. Let him run his shit the way he wants to run his shit.
I know he's blue. Good. I know he's blue.
Yeah.
It's kind of
he's got them fucking red eyes, but hey, he's wiping them the fuck out.
And listen, the fact that he's played by who's your man crush, the German guy?
Oh no, it's his brother.
It's his brother. No, I'm saying the fact that it's played by that guy's brother.
Yes.
I mean, he was fantastic as Thrawn.
Although, funny you bring that up as a aside, because we watched X-Men First Class literally about an hour ago. And I was like, holy shit, Fassbender is radiant in this movie. Oh, she's seen it before.
Who was radiant?
But Fassbender is so good. Fassbender, he's so good. I would have joined his team with no convincing.
God,
he is great.
I worry about you sometime. If Hitler had been good looking, you might have gone for those uniforms.
No, wrong, because Magneto is right. People are not to be trusted. That's not Hitler. Hitler's what Magneto's against. The problem, of course, is it is a slippery slope to becoming the mutant Hitler, which is what Professor X is trying to tell him.
If you become too close-minded, it's very easy to go from the hero to the villain.
It is, but when you listen to when Magneto says to him, it starts with identification. You know where it ends.
Hey,
he's
dude,
right.
I just got in trouble for this. Remember, I told you recently. I made an off joke to one of my children, and I got in trouble. Because they were talking. What were they talking about? You know what? This is fine. By the time my kids hear this show, I'll be long dead. And they can get annoyed about me in the future. Hi, future.
By the time anyone hears the show, most will be long dead.
Yeah, long dead.
By the time most people ever hear this, if they do.
Yeah. Hi, older kids. So, one of my children, I'll keep it, one of my children, one of the younger ones, was going on about, was it Therians? It was Therians. And how they believe that they are they're reborn from animals, right? That they were animals in another life. And I made the off joke of being like, well, that's how it starts. I was like, but in soon enough, they'll be like, oh my God, we have to kill all the people who were once, lizards. I was like, and I said, organized religion equals organized, it's not organized crime, but it was basically what it was. Organized religion is organized crime. And they got very annoyed at me. And they're like, the Therians are not that way. And I'm like, no, they all start out with the best of intentions. But when things get big, and religion is looking, and the religion is looking for somebody to fuck, they often turn on themselves. And they say, yes, we all believe we were animals reborn, but were you a horse or were you a predator? Honestly, it would be down like predator and prey lines, wouldn't it? Like, did you used to be a tiger, or were you a deer?
Yeah.
And the thing is, people start filling in the gaps, and then all of a sudden, it's like, the master race is those who were reborn from predators, and everyone else is prey. And they got really annoyed at me. They got so annoyed at me. They stomped out of the room. They ran upstairs, and I was like, I thought it was pretty funny. And I feel bad. I feel bad about it. But I do believe that. I do believe that when you organize these things, listen, to draw it back to Darth Maul and his penis.
And filling in the gaps.
Yeah. Star Wars, when it came out, was 3 movies, and it was a lot of fun. And when I saw them as a kid, I loved them. Right? And it's gone from being some really cool, fun ideas to being so organized. And what is the history of this? And what is the history of that? I mean, listen, we just looked up all the information we needed to know about Darth Maul. It was all there in official channels, right? Organized. Once it becomes organized problems. And that's what you get. And that's why now, you have stars who don't want to do Star Wars movies because they're afraid they're going to get hate from the fans. Because the fans didn't like something that a character did, so they said all kinds of racist shit online, right? Because it turns into doctrine. It turns into canon. And then everyone's like, is this canon?
You sit there, and you do have to imagine that anybody writing anything new in Star Wars or Star Trek probably, literally, there must be a room. There must be a couple of people who they call up and say, here's a story idea. We'd like to have Captain Kirk travel back in time and, try to stop Jack the Ripper. And then there's going to be a team of people who have to sit there and go, has Star Trek ever had Captain Kirk mention encountering Jack the Ripper?
Well,
and if so, did he allude to possibly trying to stop him in the past? We'd like to not piss off our fans this week. Please let me know.
But you know what? They did this in Strange New Worlds because one of the characters goes back in time with a version of Kirk.
No, but that happens, and they have to debate whether it's a big enough deal or not. That's what I'm saying.
The whole, is it canon? Is this canon? Is this part of the, that's the question everybody has. Listen, I've had the question too. Is this part of the larger world? Do I have to think about this when it comes to how characters are affected? But I am more interested in a good story, and I'm willing to let things go, and I'm willing to accept the fact that they're, people aren't. It's supposed to be entertainment, and that's what I'm looking for. And this is Alien Earth, right? I don't care if Alien Earth is canon to the Alien universe. Because it's so goddamn good. In fact, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if it completely, at this point, shits on the canon. I'll just accept them as different attempts at the idea. Because it's so well done. I applaud the director that he was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm just going to do what I want. I'm going to do a good job, and fuck you. And it works because it's good. Because that's the other thing too. When they do that and then it's like really shit, you're like, okay, now I'm a little annoyed. But I applaud the fact that he went in and he did something that was good, and he he's like, maybe it'll connect. I don't know. Here we go. So, yeah. I gotta tell you, as a service announcement to parents. Or to those thinking of being parents, or just to have a connection with.
Hold on. This is what do you call it? This is an important bulletin to parents. Is that what?
No, you know what? This is just a shout out there to our parents who either have had teenagers or are going to have teenagers, or who are thinking of having kids and thinking of things that they should think about in the process. Teenagers can be really hard. Just gotta say.
That's all I have to say.
That's it. Teenagers can be really hard. And you may think that you are funny. And you may be funny. You know what? I like to think that I'm a funny guy. I have made my wife nearly piss herself a few times. I have said stuff that had Joe on the floor. I have made Joe's wife nearly piss herself. Right? I like to think that I'm a pretty funny guy. Joe is a very funny guy. Tonight, he said shit that made me almost not be able to breathe. I consider us both to be a bunch of chuckleheads. But I know that my jokes go down like a lead balloon with my teenagers sometimes. I'm not going to name names. But yeah, with my teenage brood, they do not think that I'm funny. They do not think that I'm funny, and they get annoyed when I make light play of things. The very same thing that makes this show so amusing for the two of us is, I think, the thing that drives my teens up a wall. And you know what I think my teens hate more than anything? When somebody else is like, I like your parents. And they're like, no, you can't like our parents. Our parents suck. And your teenagers will think that they know everything about you. They'll think that they've got your number. They'll think that they, and it's amusing. It's so amusing to me because you can't educate them. You can't turn to your kids and be like, hey, man, listen, I've done a lot of fucked up shit in my life. And that's why, I'll tell my kids, wait till I'm dead to hear the podcast. Because it's going to give you a very different vision of your dad and some of the shit. I mean, we were discussing, like I said, Darth Maul dicks tonight, But teenagers think they know who their parents are. And it is until they start to get older that they look back and they go, oh my God, no, my parents were people and they had their own lives and their own worlds and their own, but yeah, the teenage years are hard. So I just want to mention that, especially out to you, moms and dads who might think you're funny and whose teenagers just do not think you're funny at all. Yeah. It's sad too, because I miss my oldest. When my oldest was still in the house, they were still kind of culture warriors. So we would kind of bump heads over comedy and things like that. But my oldest used to love sitting around and listening to me and Joe play video games. Which I guess is why I kind of understand why you record them. I don't really, because it's not something that ever appealed to me. But my oldest, before they moved out, did enjoy sitting and listening to us play video games, and still does. I mean, when they come to visit and you and I play video games at night, they just sit on the couch and listen to us talk a ton of shit. And they can only, they can't really hear your end of the conversation most of the time. But then I'll recount the other end of the joke, and they cackle over there on the couch. So, once you get through the teenage years, they come out the other end, and maybe they'll think you're funny. But anyway, now that that's my public service announcement is over now. So good luck, parents, and onward to Mila.
You got it.
I've been waiting for you.
Talking to your picture. It turns to dream. Leave my mind. It turns to dream. Leave my mind. Lilu Dallas Multipass.
I just want to mention, before we go any further, that
Sure.
I just recently told Joe that apparently Mila did all the sound clips for the World of Tanks game for one of their holiday runs. And there is a line out there that Joe and I both desperately want to see if we can get the isolated sound of that. Joe hasn't found it yet, and it must be out there. But if you know anything what we're talking about, there is a line in that game where Mila says, quite forcefully, what is it, penetrate it?
Penetrate it.
Yeah, she says penetrate it. And we've heard the clip a few times, and it is hilarious. We just can't get a clean version of it. So if anyone out there can get Joe a clean copy of Mila from World of Tanks saying penetrate it, it would be very appreciated.
Yes, it would. Yeah.
All right, take it away.
Well, this week, and I stressed this in my short reviews. I'll reiterate it again here. Neither of us had seen any of these movies. I'd only heard of two of them, and one very recently because it's a very recent film. So these were complete unknowns. The only reason I put these in the position I did is because they each had middling to good review scores in general. So I was curious, all between a 5 and a 7, somewhere in there, but generally more like 5 to 6.
Really?
So I was, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think they. Let's see. Hold on, I'll tell you. Let's just see here.
You know what? Hold on. You know what? No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just looked at the movies that we watched and I remembered, and I'm like, yeah, no, I get that.
Actually, you know what? I should correct myself. The first one actually is under 5. It's a 4.3, which I thought it was a 5.3. So I was incorrect. But this individual. So the first movie we're going to talk about is from last year. It's titled World Breaker. The director has done movies that I think are very good. For example, The Machinist, Session 9.
Oh, this is that guy. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So this individual has done some interesting movies.
Yeah, and to be clear, up front, I didn't dislike World Breaker. I just thought
No, I'm just saying that, on paper, these movies seemed like they were going to be, good.
World Breaker. First off, World Breaker is not really a Mila movie. She is a important part of it, but she's in the beginning. She's in the beginning and the end, right? And her role in it is quite interesting, which is that. I'll get there in a second.
Uh-huh.
So, World Breaker is one of those movies that wants to explore people, and it does it through the context of some kind of catastrophic event. Some movies do these with like, the world is ending, or there's a giant meteor, or the Earth is going to stop rotating. Like any number of fucked up things you could have, right? This movie just happened to take on the idea that because things are getting warmer and the ice is melting, a gateway has appeared in the ice to some other world, and creatures have come out of it. And those creatures, when they scratch you, they infect you. And men are very susceptible to it. Women are less susceptible to it, but men are very susceptible. So when the movie starts, the war has been going on for a while, everything's pretty upside down, and our main characters, which are Mila and, oh god, what the fuck is his name?
Luke Evans, the new Frankenfurter I just noticed in the...
Oh, yeah! Yeah, I'm so excited to see that. Him as Frankenfurter. Anyway...
I'm waiting for my wife to have a shriek from the other room when she finds out they're remaking that, but...
No, it's on Broadway. That's not Broadway. It's not on Broadway. It's not where are they doing it.
Oh, okay.
No, he's doing it for stage.
It's not a movie. All right.
No, it's for stage.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, she's gonna have to go see it live.
Okay, that's
no, I think he's doing it in England. I think it's in England that they're doing it. Either way, so Luke Evans, right?
Oh,
so
we're
Luke
not going to
Evans,
go to England right now. That's for goddamn sure. We'll never get back.
So Luke Evans in this is a former soldier who got hurt in some way and is now the primary parent for their daughter. Mila is the warrior. She has a sword because decapitating these creatures is the fastest way to kill them because they're kind of bullet sponges. And she is a higher up war hero. And the world is kind of flipped so that there's a lot of sexism towards men now. And early on, they set up this idea that there's a lot of women that look at men and think of them as being weak because they're simple and they're so easy to infect. And thus, this is the landscape that the director and the writer, choose to explore the human condition. And the central condition of this movie is the relationship between a father and his daughter in isolation, right? And the thing is that this idea isn't new. This idea has been done to death, right? But it doesn't mean that it's been done to death because it is a fascinating idea. Because, I mean, I was just talking about how teens are difficult. This movie handles that actually rather well. In fact, there's a moment in the movie where the teen girl does something and Joe says, I can't believe this script. Who would do something that fucking stupid? And do you remember what I said, Joe?
People would do something that stupid?
I said teenagers. Teenagers would do something that stupid.
Yes.
Yeah. So I actually, once you get over, I think, the kind of silly apocalypse concept, and then you just embrace it, I kind of enjoyed this movie. You can see where it's going. You get irritated with the bonehead mistakes that the teenager makes, but honestly, the actress who does the main role, I thought she was pretty good. I mean, she carried a lot of the movie, and she did it well. I thought Luke Evans, as a father trying to train his daughter to be a great warrior, knowing that he was most likely not going to see it, I thought he did a really good job. I read a review that said, this movie may not be great, but it has more heart than a lot of other post-apocalyptic movies. I agree with that. I thought the movie had a lot of heart. The spider people were stupid CG, but the hybrids are actually pretty fucking scary because when you get infected, you basically rip your own skin off and you become like this creature. And those are all done in practical, and I thought that those looked pretty fucking good. Yeah, and then otherwise, you knew that the dad was going to get infected before the end of the movie because you can't talk about men getting infected, lotta, and then not have Luke Evans get infected before the end of the movie. I'm just glad she didn't have to kill her dad because I felt like that would have hit you over the head with it. And I thought that the movie had kind of a brave ending, whereas it didn't stop and give you the happy ending. It kind of left you on a moment where you're like, well, she's probably okay, but is she? I don't know. So, thoughts? Feelings?
Well, accidentally, my view on what this movie actually is changed radically when I was doing the file to post the commentary.
Really?
Because I sort of remembered something from the very beginning, and I wasn't sure about it. And then when I rewatched the thing to time our stuff correctly, I confirmed what I thought I remembered from the very beginning of the movie, which is I don't think the end of the movie is at all true. So I think that young girl dies horribly at the end of the movie. So what I'll say is...
Really?
The very beginning of the movie, which is where the movie ends, but with
the movie begins with the ending.
Key differences. Yes. The beginning of the movie, we see the camera coming forward towards this beach where the young girl is with the sword.
Okay.
When you see that, you do not see the mob in the position it's in at the end of the movie. It's not there. They appear to be coming over the top of the hill. The father is not there. And when the shot reverses, there are no boats coming behind her to help. It's empty. It's just the ocean, which is not what the end of the movie. And the movie over and over emphasizes the importance of stories, whether they are true or not, that we tell ourselves and others to give ourselves the courage to do things. So I think Mila's dead, and I think she did kill her father, and he was dead long before she got to the beach, and she's about to be killed by all those things. Or perhaps beat them, but I doubt it.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. I don't support the fact that she's killed the dad. Nothing alludes to it. I do think that Mila could be dead.
Except the beginning of the movie.
What? Or
it could be that the dad transformed.
Well, what? Hold on.
And
What
he's coming
too. Movie alludes to it?
because you don't see where they are when he is holding them off. They're not there. They're further up. He's not there. You see this big open shot.
You think she's been there by herself all along?
She's down there, and she can't get the boat to move to escape, and so she's decided to take them on. Because she can't get, which we do see in the movie, she can't get the boat to move. Yeah. That part all appears because you see the boat, and it's in what looks like the same. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't measure it or anything.
Yeah.
But there's nothing there.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you that your interpretation is wrong. That's the beauty of the things that you can have an interpretation.
No, I think that's the movie's real point, is the idea of storytelling. And so I agree with you in general. I didn't dislike it. I thought it was an interesting movie because it was trying to do something different, which I liked. I didn't mind that Mila wasn't in it that much because I felt like the character she was vital. And she was essentially the leader of the army of this area. I don't know what the global situation looks like. We don't see the rest of the world, but you presume it's bad everywhere. But she clearly is the dominant force in this area. She takes care of her family. It's like it's basically a gender role reversal, which is always fun when it's done properly. So she is in the male role in that she sends the husband and the kid off to hide while she's taking on these monsters.
Yeah, in the 80s, they would have done a movie like this, and it would have been the mom on the island with the daughter. Or the son. It would have been the mother on the plane. Yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of give themselves an out against the woke, stupid people by making it where women are hardier against this thing than men. Men fall to it, it seems, with much more ease.
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, the movie's vague on it, so I wonder if it's a thing where younger women are more vulnerable because we see a young girl get transformed.
Yeah.
But it takes a while, so it's hard to say.
But they reiterate again and again that women are not immune.
I understand. What I'm saying is it's hard to say because all we see, the only woman we see transform is a very young girl. We see adult men transform in one case pretty quickly and in the other semi-quickly. So,
but you're right.
Overall,
you're right. The older guy goes quickly. The father takes a little bit.
Yes.
And the girl,
he's
young
about
girl,
like
takes
middle age.
days.
So age may be a factor regardless of gender, but we've been told basically that men are more susceptible. So hard to say. Overall, I liked it because it was trying to do something different. You're right that it's not saying it's a Mila movie is somewhat disingenuous, although I think her importance to the story
No. She was important.
Offsets that. Yeah. But I liked it. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
I like that you have an interpretation. I like that you have an interpretation that's different than me. And
you remember, I said to you, if somebody said, "Hey, I'd like to watch this. Do you want to watch it?" I would. But would I ever watch it myself again? No. I wouldn't. I wouldn't choose to sit down and watch this. But I would watch it again.
Well, I thought it was well done.
The practical effects are awesome.
I mean, the creatures, right? The hybrids.
Yes, and we see really more of them than we see of the CG creatures.
We see two. I think 2 or 3 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And they kill a kid.
Yeah, they do.
Great. I mean, that to me, that really does make it seem like, shit, man, anybody can be killed. I wasn't sure Mila was going to live. I kept saying, shit, she's going to die. She's going to die. Shit, she's going to be dead. Now I think she is. But the movie, if you go by what the ending shows us, she's alive. So I agree. I'm not saying anything with certainty. I'm just looking at the beginning of the movie and going, well, why show us that?
I like your interpretation. I just prefer mine. But I enjoy the fact.
I also prefer yours because Mila's alive.
Yeah, well, and there's a dog.
And there's
honestly,
a dog.
You know what? Shit. You know what? The fact that she's got a dog, that almost is a tick in your direction because they said that
because
there were
the girl
dogs.
says
there's no dogs. What's a dog, right? So the dogs are supposly all dead. So the fact that Mila's got a dog and she's on a boat,
imagining something to bolster herself against the threat,
and she's coming, yeah.
But again, it just you can read it because look, the reality is even in Blade Runner, where wildlife was wiped out, there were still living beings. They were just exceptionally rare and expensive. So it's not impossible Hey, I would love that Mila saved one of the last living dogs and is defending
Well,
it.
honestly,
That's great.
I thought that was like the sexual healing ending for you. Mila shows up with a dog in the apocalypse.
Look.
I mean,
Again, I had this little thing at the back of my brain that was going, yeah, but don't, because I remember the beginning, we were like, wow, this is beautifully filmed. So the beginning was kind of etched into me with that really nice drone shot coming in, and then the reversal of her with the sword. So I was paying attention because it was filmed so nicely.
There's a really nice long shot of her marching through the the soldiers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, early on.
So I was paying attention because it was filmed well.
Yeah.
That's why I remembered it. And that's why at the end I'm sitting there going, this doesn't jive with what the beginning of the movie was. So why? And I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. I don't even think the Wikipedia takes a position on it. Now that I think about it, I think they just kind of ignore the beginning.
I thought this was a pretty good movie. It's not a movie I would normally sit down to watch. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but I wouldn't dissuade anyone from watching it.
Yeah,
it's just not.
I wouldn't
it's
either.
not classically a Mila movie, and then she's not the lead.
No, it's an interesting.
This is a Luke Evans movie.
Wait a minute. Somebody asked the same questions I did. Hold on. Willa and her father make their way to the forest. Okay. No, this is just basically recapping it. I was curious because I'm just curious if anybody else has the same question about where I wanted to look was actually Reddit, because that's where people debate this shit.
Yeah, I know.
And that's where people come up with. And again, somebody may have said, well, no, this is the reason why she is alive, which would be fine. I'm not so committed to this where I'm seeing her go, no, I'm right.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Hey.
Yeah.
Right. So it was an interesting movie.
I thought that it was better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for this, by the way. Like, when this came out, I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, whatever. It's another apocalyptic movie, and I thought it was better than I expected.
Yeah.
But still,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But, it is funny that one of the photos on IMDb shows her with the dog, which is kind of like, guys, maybe don't give that away. But, no, it is an interesting movie. I think if you see the trailer and it looks at all interesting, you should probably watch it. Don't go into it as a Mila. This is not Resident Evil where she's going to be destroying monsters constantly. At all.
Yeah.
And if you need a very, very clean, wrapped up ending, don't watch this.
No.
Because you have to. Okay, I don't agree with this reviewer who says Mila Jovovich is Liam Neeson with boobs. That's one of the stupidest lines I've ever read. You are a fucking moron. But anyway, if you need an ending that tells you everything, I'm sorry, that's just a stupid thing to say. And it doesn't even fucking mean anything. What the hell are you talking about? Anyhow, it's, again, you, just like I did, you have to kind of decide what the story is. And I think that's some of what the movie is communicating is, okay.
And to me, that's
we grow
fun.
up with stories. What do those stories mean? And that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, of the movies we watched, it was interesting. It was different. It was something that tried a few. They did some things that were kind of normal, and they did a few things that were a little different. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is different from the movie that follows. Which are you ready to?
Are you mean Survivor, or are you talking about the last?
No,
one?
I'm talking about Survivor. Because
Okay,
Survivor,
yes,
Survivor is a very it's not bad, but it's kind of
Survivor?
a generic movie.
Survivor is the biggest mystery to me that I cannot crack. Because seriously, we said this in the thing. How this movie didn't make money makes no
it's a huge
sense.
Is this the one that only made 100,000?
No, I think that was Faces in the Crowd.
Oh no, it was Faces in the Crowd. Okay, yeah, this one was a bomb as well though.
It was a bomb. No, it was also a bomb. This movie, I don't remember looking up the budget. Let's take a look because it's always fun. This movie's budget was $20 million. It's almost equivalent though, and it made 3.6 worldwide, so less than half.
Yeah. So
it was a bomb.
You know what?
Bomb.
I just want to say up front. So Survivor is a spy movie. It's a spy terrorism movie, right? And the thing is, I watch a lot of these with my wife. My wife loves this genre. It's like the thriller genre of spies and whatnot. She loves this genre, so I watch a lot of these. And watching this movie, it felt like, and the thing is, the movie is actually pretty well written. The guy who wrote it, even though this is only his third movie he's ever written, he is a thriller writer. He took over one of the Ludlum books at one point. You know, he knows what he's doing, and it is evident because there is foreshadowing. Things make sense. This movie, other than one major glaring problem that comes late in the movie, it has a logical pacing. It doesn't feel totally absurd. The biggest two problems of this movie up front are that Pierce Brosnan is a really shitty hitman. As an actor, he's great.
Wait. Yeah, I was going to say, define when you say shitty hitman. We mean incompetent assassin. Not that he's not a good character.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I mean, honestly, when he had the Burt Reynolds mustache on, I was fucking laughing my ass off. Yeah, fucking British Burt Reynolds. But otherwise, he's, for someone who's supposed to be as good as he is quite bumbling, and I felt like the writer should have included something in there about how, like, he was really good at very planned, large-scale events, but he was really shitty at, like, one-on-one. Like, he wasn't, there's some people that are planners, and then some people are, like, one-on-one assassins, right?
Yep.
I feel like there should have been a line in there where they're like, he's really great at planning shit, but he's not a fucking ninja or anything. That would have made the character made more sense. That's the one problem in this movie, right? Mm-hmm. And that one is kind of throughout. Yep. The other one is there is no fucking way in this universe that you are getting to Times Square from, like, anywhere near the airport in 28 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Right? She's got, what is it? They got 28 minutes until until a terrorist event happens, right? And she somehow gets to Times Square with minutes to spare on New Year's with the police looking for her. She wouldn't have gotten there because of the traffic, number one. But number two, the amount of security they have there, I mean, it is the most astonishingly bullshit part of this movie.
Yeah.
Anyone who is even remotely acquainted with New York will stop and go, what? JFK to Times Square on New Year's in 28 minutes? Impossible.
No chance.
No chance whatsoever. So, and this is, we found out he's an LA writer. He writes in California anyway.
You would convince me that Darth Maul's a virgin before I'll believe that.
Yes, I'm sure Darth Sidious was a really tender lover.
I'm sure he was not.
So that those two elements are bad, but everything else about this movie feels logical. It feels well paced. I mean, it wasn't earth shattering. Nothing amazing was happening, but it was intelligent. It made sense what people were doing. Outside of, the fact that Pierce Brosnan was a really crappy hitman. It all made sense. But the thing is as you're watching it, it feels so incredibly safe and generic. And I think I wonder if that's really the problem with this movie, is that nothing in this movie really makes it stand out. I mean, she basically made I'm going to preface this by saying these movies are not written as well, but at least they do interesting things. This is like a late-night Peter Weller, like, political thriller. Spy movie, right? one of these movies that the guy who played the T-1000 did after Terminator 2. What the guy's name?
Robert
Pattinson. Not Pattinson. Sorry, that's the new Batman.
Not Pattinson. He did the Batman. He is not doing late night movies. No.
The T-1000. These are movies that T-1000 made. But the thing is, when you're making a straight B movie with a B movie budget, right? You tend to do fucked up shit, right? And you're like, oh my god, that movie was terrible, but that one thing they did was pretty fucking funny, right? Whereas this movie's not like that. This movie had a decent budget. It had decent actors. The script was fairly well written, except for a few issues. It just didn't do anything really memorable.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I watched it. I wasn't offended by it. It was okay. I think you said at one point that one of the problems with this movie is that Mila isn't really acting. She's just running around. She spends a lot of this movie just running.
Yes.
So it's not really an example of her ability. Yeah. So,
it does put her in a role where she clearly is paying attention. She's smart. She knows what's going on. She picks up on things before other people. So they don't reduce her into a dummy.
No, she's not
which
stupid.
Is good.
She's not stupid. She's just not doing anything heavy.
She's not, and she is placed in a very convenient web of conspiracy that avoids her ever getting to somebody who can do something about it, except for the
Angela
Dylan
Bassett
McDermott
is wasted.
character. They put her into honestly a role that is so far below her talents that it is embarrassing. That should go to somebody who's a no name.
I thought she was going to be far bigger in this.
No, you don't bring Angela Bassett in for a role like this. I'm sorry, you don't.
Honestly,
I mean,
what would have been
maybe she was paying
cool?
off a car. I don't know, but she's a waste in this role.
I would have flipped Pierce Brosnan and Angela Bassett.
I would not put any marquee name in the Angela Bassett role. Period. That's a low.
I know.
Low effort role. So you don't put a name like that in there. Angela Bassett is too good for such a small role. And again, look, I'm sure she got paid. It's a role. It goes on her resume. I'm not, whatever. I'm not saying she shouldn't do it like I'm her manager or something.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is when I see the name Angela Bassett, I am expecting a role that will actually highlight her talent. This does not. You could have put anyone in this role. All she is the naysaying boss. That's it. That's it. They didn't give her, we thought she might be in on it. No, not even that. She just doesn't want them to get involved. Bang on table, bang on table.
Yeah.
That's it. You want to see Angela Bassett in a good role? There's about, 30 other movies that are way better for her.
Strange Days. Go watch Strange Days.
Strange Days, almost anything she's better in. Not because she's bad in this role. It's a nothing role.
It's a nothing role, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is it's a sleepwalk role. It's Michael Caine in Jaws 4 territory.
You know what? Hold on.
Look, it's Michael Caine.
Michael Caine in that movie was fantastic. He's charming.
Well, Angela Bassett's fine, but the character's nothing.
But there's nothing to that character. It's a forgettable, shitty character. At least Michael
Caine too. Michael Caine is a
Jaws
pilot, I guess, but
was
it's
charming and fun, and you don't want him to die. When his plane goes down, you're like, oh no, not Michael Caine.
Well, I mean, okay, this is a small area of disagreement. I equate the roles. Angela Bassett is tough and good looking in her role in this. It's also a nothing role.
It is.
As I'm saying. I mean, Jaws 4 is forever tainted for me because they got rid of the voodoo storyline. The fact that they didn't keep that in kills them.
Hold on. What was the voodoo storyline?
Oh, yes. Originally.
Did I miss out on something amazing?
Yeah. It's in the novelization. Originally, and I think there are little tiny threads of it. Oh, yeah, you didn't know this?
There's a Jaws 4 novelization? Of course there is.
Yes.
Of course there is.
Yes. Yes. In the original plan for this, the reason, because as the movie is, it's inexplicable that this shark keeps chasing after Ellen Brody. It's because the shark's a voodoo curse. That's the original, and it is in the
Featured involves a witch doctor named Papa Jacques who cursed the Brody family, seeking for revenge for an insult by Michael Brody. Jacques magically impels a great white shark to hunt the family from Amity to the Bahamas. Papa Jacques' curse. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's some shit right there.
Yeah. I would have preferred that. It would, because here's the thing. You remember in that movie when they're triggering the pulse?
Hold on. So was Papa Jacques in Amityville?
No, apparently this is when Michael was in the Bahamas. So no, it happened in the Bahamas. So because Michael is a marine biologist, and when he's down there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Michael I forget. Michael Brody's the son. You're right.
The son. Yeah. No, you're thinking of what was
Chief
his name?
Brody.
Chief Brody. What was
they just called him Chief
name?
Brody?
No, well, he does have a first name, but anyway, regardless.
Oh my god!
Regardless
Honestly, that is quite funny. Honestly, that would have made more sense.
Right, because when the shark is coming out of the water, when they're shocking it, it's roaring like a lion, which is inexplicable. It is roaring like a lion is roaring when it comes out of the water.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, what is going on here?
You know what? And this is kind of like this is like the sound of T-Rexes, where it's like what's his name? George Lucas did such a good Steven Spielberg did such a good job in Jurassic Park that you automatically think, well, that's what T-Rexes sound like. Realizing, that a sound guy somewhere was like, hey, you know what? I think this is what they should sound like. But like a lot of the research now, I mean, you've heard what it sounds like, right? That weird turkey sound that they've.
It's great.
My God, and you know what? What's funny is I was telling my kids about it, and they were like, "That's not that scary." And I'm like, "Hold on!" And I turned the volume up on the speakers really loud and turned all the lights off. And I'm like, "There you are. You're in the middle of the woods, and you hear this." And the whole room vibrated with that sound, that low, like, oh God, you should get a soundbite of that because that's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
And I was like, you want that shit hunting you? But yeah, like we automatically make. In the modern day, we make all these animals roar in movies. They roar like lions, roar like tigers, because we think that's the most fearful noise. But I mean, any noise can be scary if you know what's making it.
Also, the Michael Caine character was supposed to be a drug runner, which is why because in the movie he just kind of is a pilot.
Yeah,
who's very
honestly,
suave,
it makes
but
sense.
in the book he's running drugs.
You know what? I assumed he was a drug runner.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
I just assumed it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yes. As a small aside, yes, there was a voodoo element originally in there.
That's awesome. Sorry, I just totally...
And the novelization retains it, so I would recommend reading the book.
Woo, okay, go on. So, Survivor.
Mm-hmm. So Survivor... How the hell did we even come to that? Because I was comparing Michael Caine and Angela Bassett. Survivor, the thing that is mystifying is, and I said this to you multiple times, and I absolutely believe it, and I mean this not as a criticism. If members of my family, including my mother, my aunt, were to go to see this movie today, they would rave about it.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, because my mother and aunt read these kind of books.
Yeah,
like the Robert Ludlow stuff.
Love them.
So they would say it was great. So why did this money not... Because this is pre-pandemic by a number of years. It's perfectly crafted for a mainstream audience. It's anti-terrorism. Yay, America. Yeah. It's got a big kind of grand setting at the end with New Year's Eve. Even though it makes no sense. That's the problem they would have had. It's a neat idea that, the ball drops, they shoot it, it explodes. Like it's got stakes. The whole thing. It's all... They just
didn't do it.
And that
that's what's so crazy about it
to me. That's the mystery.
Didn't. Yeah.
It's too perfectly crafted to have an explanation as why. The only thing I could think is, I didn't look to see what else came out at the same time. Let's see.
Did it get buried?
Maybe it just got buried. Let's see. 2015 in film. Okay, what do we got? The Force Awakens. Ugh. What does it say? What month that movie came out? You happen to see that?
No, it doesn't say.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. Wait a minute.
Okay, hold on. I have a review. I have an article about why the movie may have done so bad.
Ooh.
Due to a predictable, formulaic script and poor pacing, according to critics at the time, despite a decent cast, the movie was criticized for failing to deliver suspense and having a generic meat and potatoes feel that felt outdated. There you go. They felt that it was just too on the head.
It doesn't make sense to me. Sorry. If you're going to tell me that being too predictable,
oh, hold on, no, I'll give you some more information that makes sense here.
Right.
It was released in a day and date format, limited theaters and video on demand simultaneously.
Oh, well, okay, so they buried
that'll
it.
totally fuck your movie.
Yeah, I don't want to be hearing that a movie is too predictable to be successful. Really?
Honestly,
okay.
So some of the reviews said, these are professional reviews, said the movie felt like it was treading water. Yeah. Easily guessable. Yeah. Honestly, critics didn't like it.
Critics aren't people.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. I found one of the original reviews that came out for this movie, right? Survivor review. You'll wish you hadn't made it to the end. Pierce Brosnan and Mila can't do anything for this contrived mess. 1 star. Oh my God, Emma Thompson was supposed to be in this. And she bailed at the 11th hour. Oh, who is she going to play?
She might have been the, what do you call it character? The Angela Bassett character.
I wonder who...
Look, I toss out critic reviews. They mean nothing to ordinary people. Nothing.
Except some people,
but
some people do read them to see what movie they want to see.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm going to tell you right now. My mother, who's my kind of bellwether as far as normal people.
Yeah.
Relatively. My mother doesn't give a fuck what any critic ever says. Most people I know who are mainstream moviegoers give not a fuck what critics say. They don't care. If they hear from somebody that they know that saw it that it was good or bad, that's the critic. And I'm telling you right now, I may actually, you know what? I'm going to tell my mother to watch this. I'm going to tell my mother to watch this movie and see what she thinks. And I'll report back. Because my bet is she's going to say either it was good or she's going to love it. I guarantee one or the other.
See, but here's the thing. I don't disagree with this review because it says, borrowing heavily from better films in service of a predictable story.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
That's a given. We know
Survivor
that.
will struggle to sustain the interest of even the most avid action thriller fans. My wife, who I said loves thrillers, right? She would have basically known what was going to happen in this movie by the halfway point, if not sooner. And that's the thing, is that people... This goes to what people want in these types of movies, right? They want a movie that's like 80% predictable, and then 10% goes, or 10 to 20% goes, oh shit, you know what? I didn't see that coming. Right? And that's the thing, I think the problem with this movie is that it's like 99% predictable.
Okay, wait. The reason I say bullshit to all that is two things. One, the existence of reality TV, which has followed the same formula in every goddamn show you ever watched since it's come out.
I get it, but
the Hallmark Channel. Don't tell me people don't eat the same fucking. No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
A different crowd.
No.
Yes, it is.
I'm saying that people have no problem with repetition.
But here's the problem to your theory, sir. Right?
Yeah.
It failed. This movie failed. So regardless,
that's what I'm saying. But I don't believe it's the repetition part. I think it's because they didn't support it. They put it out limited, and put it on video demand, which in 2015, pre-pandemic,
but even we
that's not something people sought out.
But even we thought that it was an adequate and sober movie that didn't really do anything.
We are not normal people. We are not normal. You cannot gauge Jack. We spent 20 minutes on Darth Maul's sexual history. You cannot judge anything.
Specifically whether or not he had a penis and what he'd done with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't judge. Look, man. No. I came up with the bestiality pop-up quiz. Fuck you. You can't judge nothing by us. No way.
No, but I watch a lot of thrillers. I watch a lot of these military and spy thrillers, and I think that yeah, I mean, we were watching it, and it just felt like, you know what, this was like an episode of NCIS. In
Yes,
fact, the
which
thing
has
about
had
this,
how many years on TV?
I know, but the problem is it's already done it so much. Do you know what? You want to know the
Well,
most interesting part of this movie? The most interesting part of this movie was the fact that Pierce Brosnan was so bad at being a hired killer, and I can't tell if it's because he was so like he was such a Scrooged about how much he got paid. Because there's a scene in this movie where they blow a door down, and the door hits Dylan. Is that Dylan McDermott? Is that his name?
Dylan McDermott. Yep.
It's Dylan McDermott, and knocks him unconscious, and Pierce Brosnan goes in to kill to find Mila to kill her, and he goes into the room, and I thought it was a foregone conclusion that Dylan McDermott was dead, that he was going to walk by him and just go boom boom on the floor and keep going, right? And he doesn't kill him. He walks right by him. Now, either he's a boneheaded assassin, he's written as a boneheaded assassin, or the writer was a boneheaded assassin. Or
I have a different theory.
Or hold on, or Pierce Brosnan's character is so tight-fisted that he won't kill anybody that he's not specifically paid to kill. Which, honestly,
Okay, well,
I kind of like the idea.
It could be that.
I
It could
like
be that.
Go ahead.
Or my theory is they wanted to put them together in a sequel. Those two were going to be together. The follow-up was going to be a year or two later. They're together.
Oh, yeah, listen.
Blah, 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 blah.
The meta-analysis is that, yes, absolutely, they wanted them to be a team in another movie. But in the viewing of it, it feels like, why would Pierce Brosnan make that mistake? Why leave loose ends?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with the competency problem. There's a competency problem.
You know?
But, as you noted, NCIS, or what's my favorite example, Law and Order SVU has been on for 27 years. And it's the same fucking thing every episode. The same thing. Law and Order, no SVU, was on for over 20 years. And every episode literally followed the exact same formula with minor variation once in a while. But it was the same thing. And people ate it the fuck up and continue to. It is constantly in reruns.
Well, sir, then I don't know what to tell you. It just somehow
I know,
shit
that's
the
what
bed.
I'm saying. But I will test this. I will test this scientifically by telling my mother to watch it.
I know, but
I'm
that's
just
not going to
gonna
make
tell
it.
her?
That's just going to make it worse, because then you're going to be like, she liked it. Why didn't it succeed?
No, but I'm curious whether she will say, I was kind of bored by it, because then you're right. And it was just that I'm miscalculating on what ordinary people like, which would not.
Oh, you know what?
Out of the fucking question.
That makes sense. You know, we both miscalculate.
Yeah,
So.
I could be way off in what I think anybody who's normal likes.
Yeah, no, it's possible.
I'm not a barometer for Jack nor shit.
Jack nor shit, and Jack left town.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah, that's.
But you know what?
That's the mystery to me.
But again, it's been an interesting week of Mila movies because we've been left with lots of kind of interesting, fascinating questions that we didn't expect. You know, where you're kind of sitting there going, why did they do this? Why did they do that? Why wasn't this movie like more well received? Like,
It's baffling. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, World Breaker is the one that makes the most sense as far as, because it's unusual. So I get why that one would be a more nuanced crowd, because it's not a straightforward movie in almost any way. So that one I get. Survivor I don't get, because it feels like the one that is most engineered for success. Following that,
but that is sometimes the problem when something feels so engineered for success that it, you almost. I mean, how many times? Have
the
corporations?
box office would agree with you. So,
Well, I was saying, how many times have corporations been like, we developed this product and we had test audiences and we did everything right and people are going to fucking love this, and then for whatever reason it just doesn't appeal to people at all, even though it's doing everything right. But they're like, oh, but we had a funny kid and we had comic relief and we had an action star and like we did all the things that we thought worked, and still no one gives a shit.
well, like
Shit
I said,
happens, man.
the box office would back you up. So inexplicable, perhaps only to me. After that, we watched a movie from 2011, I believe, titled
Yeah.
Faces in the Crowd.
This was a really
Which-
weird letdown.
It's a complicated movie to review. I will let you go first on this one.
Okay, so this movie is very strange because on one hand it has a concept that is actually really well executed. This technical aspect of the movie is actually really neat. So Mila witnesses a crime, but when she gets hurt trying to get away from the killer, she hits her head in a scene that should have killed anybody. But, plot armor. I mean, that scene was so harsh, too, and she bangs her head on that thing. Both of us were just like, whoa! Anyway, and Mila gets what is basically referred to as face blindness. And face blindness is a difficult concept for people to wrap their heads around because it basically means that you can't identify faces, which seems like such an everyday common idea. In our brains, we automatically know what people are because we access our memory and we go, oh, this is so-and-so. The files are saved, right? And it seems outlandish that we would not recognize people. But when you have face blindness, you don't have access to those quote-unquote files in your head, so when you look at people, they look like strangers. Now, this movie had a really interesting concept for trying to explain that. Every time Mila saw people in the movie who were supposed to be like, her boyfriend, her friends, they were played by different actors. Different actors of reasonably the same size, right? And it was to demonstrate this idea that it's like every time you look at people that you should know, they look like strangers. It is so creepy. It is actually done exceptionally well. It is, to some degree, worth watching the movie as a technical exercise just to see how they do this. Because it is actually really well done. The director had an idea, competently pulled off that idea. And that is where the competence ends. And the rest of the movie just feels weird. It's weirdly paced. Characters are supposed to love each other within minutes. There's a lot of unlikable people. You don't understand why people are doing the things that they're doing. And then it has a conclusion that you sit there and you go, wait, what? Yeah, I was so hopeful at the beginning of the movie that the rest of the movie would live up to how well they executed the face blindness concept. And maybe that's why it then falls so hard. And becomes, honestly, towards the end, it becomes predictable. Like, there is a major key element towards the end of the movie where there's a character, we're going to call it the blood goatee. There's a character who had a goatee, and she recognizes him for some reason. And then when he shaves it, he becomes somebody else. And then at the end of the movie, he gets the shit kicked out of him, and the blood started dripping out of his face. And did I not say to you, Joe, he's going to make a blood goatee, and she's going to recognize him? Yeah.
We said it at the same time. We both called it.
It's the movie becomes like just weird and predictable, and it just leaves such a oddly bad taste in your mouth. And I think it's because it ends up being bad, but that one element is done so well that it makes the rest of the movie taste even more like shit. So that's my review. Thoughts, feelings.
No, it's exactly that. This is a writer-director doing the same thing, doing both roles. And that has, as Lando and I have discussed in many other films by other people doing this, that can be a problem. It can be a problem when you are both doing the story and shooting the film. Now, I don't know. I've not found any real information on this movie, probably because it was a failure, a miserable failure.
Let's be clear. This movie cost $10 million, and they only made $100,000.
Yes.
That is a
miserable failure.
Epic failure.
Yes. Bad. I mean, it is hard. It is hard. It is hard to overstate how much of a galaxy-sized dog shit that is in studio terms. That is really bad. Really bad. That's not, oh, you know what? We didn't find its audience. That's, oh my God. People would rather just walk out than watch this type of thing. So, whatever the reason, I think that it comes down to the fact that it was a person who was doing both jobs, which can be very, very tough to do. Because as you pointed out, the face blindness gimmick, it is a gimmick, but you'll say that, aspect is so well done.
Yeah.
It's so effective when this woman cannot recognize anyone. By the way, a little bit of trivia. One of the women, the actors, who becomes the promiscuous friend, the dark-haired woman, is Ada Wong from Resident Evil. So hilarious. A little bit of
that's funny. Yeah. And just to be clear, when you look at the cast list, right? 15 people play the boyfriend in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So she would
turn because
and she can't even see her own reflection. There's different actresses playing her in the reflection.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
and this
is so smart.
Right. Because what it does is it puts you as the viewer into her situation where you don't know what's going on. You are thrown off. Because, especially with the boyfriend, everybody, the people he looks like are very, very different. All different, like, nationalities, everything. All wildly different. So there's parts where the movie is throwing you off.
He's always generally white.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. What I meant was sometimes he's always white.
His build.
Yeah, his weight is all over the place.
Yeah.
He looks Irish in one thing and, a dirtbag jersey in another. You know what I mean? He's flipping out all over the place. So the thing is that, the movie plays it where there were parts where we were like, well, wait, is it him or is it the killer? Is it what? And we were even wrong a few times here and there.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that essentially she can't identify this killer because she doesn't know what he fucking looks like, and the killer,
yes,
who is like now kind of obsessed with this idea that she can't recognize him, and he starts to figure out how to kind of manipulate her so he can get close to her, and her not realize it. At one point, he figures out her trick about the ties. She figures out who her boyfriend is by the tie because she doesn't want to. This movie is a great lesson on miscommunication. She lies to her boyfriend that she recognizes him, and really what it is she copies the ties, and the killer realizes it, so he goes and sees her in a club wearing the same tie and suit that her boyfriend is, and she starts making out with him.
Yeah. And at that point of the movie, we weren't sure what was going on, so we weren't sure if it was him or not for a second, because again, that part of the movie is very good. It's just horrific without you having to do much of anything but keep changing out actors. I think that's the smartest thing the movie did, was they didn't just digitally alter the same guy so he was just slightly off. They were using completely different looking actors.
Yeah, it's great.
Again, yes, they're all white, but very different looking people, not even similar actors, different. So we as the audience are, to a degree, experiencing what she is. The same thing with her friends. Now, the friends were a little easier because with the friends, the hair color didn't change. They had a mole in the same place, which was all the things she started to use as tells.
To take a step away from this movie, right?
Yeah.
it raises an interesting conversation because my wife and I were talking about, and you and I talked about this a little bit, this idea of what would
Sure.
face blindness be like in your day to day, because her boyfriend in this movie is a total asshole about it, right? And I was talking to my wife about it, and my wife and I were joking because my wife said, "You know what?" She goes, "I don't think I'd have much problem identifying you," and we were like, "Yeah, because I have a unique build. I'm covered in tattoos, so even if my face, and the other thing is, I have a beard most of the time, so it's really only like, you know, a few inches of face that's available to see. Otherwise, and if that kept changing, the rest of me is so kind of unique looking. Plus, my wife is like, I would spot how you dress from like across a hall. She's like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's the thing is
and
her boyfriend is so generic that she realizes that she doesn't really know him. That's one of like the takeaways.
Yeah. There's a point where they're trying to identify men by their asses. And if you listen to the commentary, you're going to hear me say this. And I don't say this kind of shit very often. But I said, and I mean it, I have a better ass than that fucking guy does.
And I got to tell you, I laughed so hard. When you said that.
Because that is the one. There's two things about myself that I've been complimented on by many women, different women throughout my life.
I'm just going to call you Sweet Cheeks from now on.
If that's fine, and you'd be correct. So that's how my wife would know.
My cheeks are sweet. Correct. Yes, they are.
They are.
They're the sweetest.
It's that would be. That's how she would. That the fact that I always dress the same way, which is t-shirt and shorts, even in the winter. Doesn't matter.
I adore your confidence because I don't think I've ever watched the movie and thought, no, my body part is way better than that man's body part.
No, and I don't say that about myself about many things.
No, I know. So
I do not.
I applaud you.
Yeah. No, I have a fairly solid back end for whatever reason. It is like, even it's like you could bounce a quarter off it. It's like, good. I don't know why. I'm not doing anything to make that happen. I just know what it is.
And that's another thing. Darth Maul lost his ass. He probably had a great ass. It was probably a key feature. I can't speak to. And he lost it. Imagine if a Jedi took your ass away. How pissed off would you be?
As a human being, yes, I would be annoyed. Sure.
Yeah, because you'd be like, that was one of my best features, bitch, and you took it away.
That was a better feature. I agree. Yeah.
So, Darth Maul is angry. Anyway, yes, this movie.
Anyway, so the face blindness part is exceptionally good, and it's so well used in this that I would love to see this movie remade better. Because
somebody who altered the script to make it work.
Well, somebody who wrote the rest of the movie as effectively as that.
And not even all the script is bad. That's the other thing too, is that there's the bones of this script actually do work, in my opinion. It's the timetable that they fucking do shit at. You know, and the because there's a thing in there where the cop has a thing for Mila, but like it comes out of nowhere. Like, he's such an asshole to her. And then all of a sudden, it's one of the guys, oh, you like her. And he's like, yeah, I do. And you're like, where the fuck did that come from? You thought she was a dumb bitch not that long ago. And now you're like, oh, God, I have a thing for her. I hope nobody finds out. And then when the two of them, like, 5 minutes after she breaks up with her boyfriend, this guy takes her to an island away to, like, kind of get away from people and protect her. And all of a sudden, it's oh my God, I love you so much. And she's like, you know what? I think I love you too. And then like they get it, and you're like, holy shit, who put the fast forward button on this relationship? Like, all of a sudden, it's like just they're on each other. So the pacing is so like psychotic. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, it does.
You know, when we were talking, I said you could solve that by having the cop be her ex. Done.
Oh, yeah. No.
All done.
There are plenty of things, you mentioned a bunch of them, that you could do to improve this movie. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
If they improved those things, this would become such a better movie. And like I said, I think people should see this as a cinematic, like, technical skill experience. The face shift shit is done really well. The movie is not. You know, and she's good in it. She's fine. She does her job. Like, no one is bad in this, but like the whole thing with the killer and who the killer ends up being
that's terrible.
is so contrived and like,
it's bad.
And you're like, oh God. It's like, yeah, okay. And the thing is, like, you know who the killer is. Oh, no, let me rephrase that. You know who the killer might be, and then you discount it because you're like, well, it wouldn't be that fucking,
because it seems really dumb and it's not set up well.
Yeah, you're like, oh, but it won't be him because that would be ridiculous. And then it is, and you're like, oh, okay, I should have known.
And it's ridiculous.
And it's ridiculous, yeah. So, God, yeah, it's
yes,
such an it is a
bad frustrating movie because
yes, that you know what that is the key. It's frustrating as fuck.
Yeah, no, it is because that one part of it is so good.
Yeah,
and that's it.
And
that's it. The rest of it is. And I said this too, is
over and over again. Just shitting.
Mila's actually good in a few scenes where she's acting. And again, another part of my annoyance that people say she's a shitty actress, which I don't believe.
You know what's funny? This movie broke you a little bit because I remember at one point you were like, Jesus Christ, why does she put herself in these movies?
Yeah.
You said something like that and you sounded so betrayed. And it was like, yeah, and I think it's because we just watched Survivor, and we were like, why did that fail? And then, yeah.
Well, and that's it, because the scene where there's a segment where she goes to a psychiatrist or psychologist or whatever, and this woman is explaining to her how she can get around this problem, that it may never go away, but this woman, the psychiatrist, is deaf. And she says, but people don't realize because I figured out how to deal with it. And so I can get through life and it doesn't end my ability to interact. And she's showing her these rocks and here, okay, you have to key in on the little details. And those little details are what you have to grip onto.
This is the pacing problem. Again, the movie changes pace halfway through.
Yeah, but in that sequence, Mila has this breakdown where she's crying because she realizes she can actually identify things.
Yeah.
And it's a good scene. And it's in the middle of a movie that otherwise, character-wise, is bankrupt of anything really good. Because as you said, the cop thing, completely botched.
I mean listen, his facial hair is so bad. Like, there's just so much that you're like, that's bad and that's bad. Why'd you do that? I mean...
And the boyfriend is a complete dick for just overly a dick.
He's a dipshit, yeah.
Where see, here again, I'll do the job the writer didn't do. Right? First meetup of the gals, the Sex and the City thing they're doing, right? They're sitting there, we're thinking of getting engaged. And the one friend says, it like sighs. She goes, why have you never liked him? Because, you know what? He's all about the superficial. He's fine because you're pretty and successful, but if anything were to ever affect that, he'd bail on you in a second. No, you've just never gotten along, and that's the payoff to when this happens, and she can't see his face, and he can't handle it. It's because the perfect superficial woman now has a defect.
Yeah.
Like, all this is so easy to do, and I'm not a writer. I can't write shit.
No, but
I struggle to write synopsis for my files.
But you have good concepts.
I can identify weakness in things and try to fix them. So that's the frustrating part about this. Where yes, I sit there and go, okay, did she read the script and see that one scene with the psychiatrist where she could really act and think that was worth it and they could fix the rest in the making of the movie, and she was wrong? Okay, or that the gimmick was so interesting and that where she was like, wow, the hook is enough to paper over the problems. Which, you know what? In an even slightly better made movie, probably would be.
You know what?
Because it is a neat idea.
A trailer for this probably would have sold it to me. If I just saw some of that interesting face shit and knew that it was like a murder movie. There's a movie with Madeline Stowe about how she's going blind. And there's a killer. Oh,
yes. Yeah. What is that movie called? I know that movie.
Man. Madeline Stowe, by the way. Why have we completely forgotten about her?
See? Well, this is the Mila problem. Do they have the same fucking agent? What's going on here? Because she's great too.
Oh, she's 67 now. Crazy.
She looks good for 67. She looks pretty good for 67. Let's see.
She had so many good movies too. Revenge, Last Mohicans,
really
12
did.
Monkeys.
Yep.
Oh, is she in It? Apparently she's in It. The new one.
Yeah, she is. What is that movie called? Not Revenge. What is it? Blink? Blink.
It's called
I think
Blink.
it's Blink.
Yeah, there you go.
Blind Violinist. That's her. Yep. 1994, Blink.
Yeah, and that handles the idea of basically not being able to identify a killer.
Yep.
You know, and that movie is really well done.
Yes.
Like, it's tense. It plays on this idea that she can't identify him. Like, God, that movie.
I wonder if this guy saw that movie and thought, I wonder how I could do my version of that. And did
Madeline
this.
Stowe, Aidan Quinn, James Remar.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Yeah,
watch.
and
Listen,
that's-
if you want to see a better version of this, watch Blink. It's different, but it gets the same idea across.
And again, what does frustrate me about this is it is sort of the same thing I have with Cynthia Rothrock, where I sit here and go, Jesus Christ, why is this not a name people know? I mean, it's not the same. You're talking about action movies versus, a variety of movies, but it's the same idea where I see somebody who had a talent and should have been in better things, was in good things, but never quite got past something. And now in Cynthia Rothrock's case, I think it was a completely different thing. I don't think it had anything to do with the choices she made. I think there were unfortunate circumstances. In Mila's case, I can't explain it. I don't know. Because at the apex of her physical abilities, she was in a series of movies that got continually worse. And not worse a little bit every time. Dramatically worse. Dramatically worse at a certain point where it was embarrassingly bad.
Are we talking about the
And
Resident
then
Evil movies?
Resident Evil, yeah.
But
Particularly
the
last
problem is that they somehow made a ton of fucking money.
And there again,
the
you're going
alien concept and all this is that somehow.
But there's your formula.
That's
Same
why she
formula
kept
over
making
and over.
them. She's like, I know these are shitty, but they keep making money.
I get it. I'm just saying that after that, then I don't know what happened. I don't know. Were the scripts better and the movie got torpedoed by interference? I mean, we know Ultraviolet is a whole thing in itself. We know about that. But like these three movies,
don't bring Ultraviolet into this.
No. World Breaker is kind of an anomaly. I think it was never going to be a mainstream hit. So
no, it was always meant to be a small movie. And it is a small movie. And it's a good small movie.
Yeah, it is. It is. No, it is.
Yeah.
But these two, Survivor and Faces in the Crowd, Survivor is not bad. Is it bland?
It's generic. I think that's the problem.
I guess that depends on whether generic means it doesn't make money, because there's plenty of generic shit that makes money. Again, cash cows that are generic is all hell.
No, and listen, then maybe you are correct. Maybe that's the conundrum. The conundrum is, why did this movie do everything that everybody else does, and somehow it didn't work?
And for Faces in the Crowd, if in fact the script is what the movie was, without much change, because sometimes things change drastically between script and movie. We don't know that. There's two possibilities. One is script and movie are basically the same. If so, I really, it will never happen. It will never happen, or at least the likelihood is next to zero.
Is this the I want to interview Mila thing?
If I ever were to be able to talk to her, this would completely change the nature of what my interview would be.
I am so curious. Like, do you even know who her agent is?
I don't. I do not.
Man, because the thing, I don't even know where to start with some of this stuff. But like, we live in such a
I mean,
weird
her
age.
official website has a contact button, but I guarantee that goes to
No. Here,
whatever.
listen. We live in such a weird age, right? You're almost in. It's not absurd to email her and say, "Hey, we just did a month-long watch of your movies."
Yeah. Okay, but here's the problem.
Yeah.
And I said this to you during one of the movies.
We
cannot get a straight answer on this right now. We can't get it because she's still active.
Nice. Yes, exactly.
She's not going to say, "Oh yeah, that one. The studio was run by a bunch of fucking morons who had no idea what they were doing, and thought they knew better and should have stuck to doing blow in the bathroom and sexually assaulting underage women. Instead, they fucked with the movie. She's not going to say that.
No, she's definitely not going to say that.
Even if that's true. No, but even if it's true, she's not going to say that because she's active. Now, if she retires completely and says, that's it, I'm done, then maybe I would get a straight answer. But I don't believe I would get one because she's still, you know, I don't know if her daughter's been in stuff. So even if she retires, if her daughter's active, she's not going to say anything. Can't blacklist the kid.
Yeah,
her husband might direct long after. So that's what I'm saying is even if I got her on, after I stopped gibbering for 15 minutes about how gorgeous she is and got to an actual question.
Well, that's the problem.
I wouldn't get a straight answer.
You can't start that way. You can't be like, oh my God.
Honestly, I wouldn't. I probably would not be able to resist saying, I just have to tell you, you're one of the most strikingly gorgeous women I've ever seen. Now let's move on. I would have to say it. I couldn't not say it. It would not be possible for me not to say that. I know that about myself. I understand what my defects are. I don't pretend I don't have them. That is one of them. I'm not going to be able. There's a handful of women that I would not be able to not tell them that they are searingly hotter than the surface of the sun.
I think Helen Mirren. I think Helen Mirren is really hot. She's hot old and she was hot young. Yeah, but I don't think she's like Joe Mila hot though. I mean. Yeah, that's a different temperature altogether.
Even getting past that, I would almost have to do it by audio just to be able to retain any control. I'd be like, no, we're doing audio. Yeah, you know, or I'd have to have the horse blinders, but they're actually over my eyes. Whatever. Or the blast shield would have to be down.
Penetrate it.
Yeah, well, yeah. And you know what? Actually, what I would dearly hope is that she decided to fuck with me about it and start saying things to fluster me. That would be a delightful interview. I doubt that's how it would go either.
I doubt Mila wants to fluster you. I'm just saying.
Oh, I don't know. People sometimes enjoy the fact that they have like a thing on somebody else. And she might be charmed by a delightful dork who could barely keep his fucking sentences
you know what?
Out.
Listen, you are correct. She might be charmed by a delightful dork. Because
the
guy who directed Resident Evil seems like a delightful dork.
This is what I'm saying. So yeah. I don't know. But in any event, I don't know that I would get a straight answer. And to be just completely honest, there's no value to me in a architected interview. There is just none.
Yeah.
When it's going to be that controlled. If she were to come back and say anything other than yes, but there's going to be a publicist and I'd be like, forget it. Never mind. No, I don't need that. I did one of those, and it was bad enough.
It's never going to happen. So
no, it's not going to happen. So that's what I mean. But if it were possible, you know, if sneaker style, we went into a booth that was soundproof and information proof, where nobody could hear.
All right, so if you could hold on, then here's a question for you, right? If you could ask Mila the lowdown on 5 movies,
yeah,
what 5 movies would they be?
Well, it would Survivor and Faces in the Crowd for sure. Ultraviolet, I think we have the story on, so I don't need that. I would probably ask her what she honestly thought of the last 3 Resident Evil films. I would say,
I promise I won't tell your husband.
Do you feel that series concluded in a way that honored the video games and produced a quality set of films? And see what the answer was. Beyond that, those are the 3 core ones, because Fifth Element, I know I like. I don't need to know anything about that. I really don't. There's nothing I need to know about it. It's great. 45, I think, it's a terribly good movie. Terrible in that I wouldn't tell people to watch it because it's a fucking downer. Even though she wins, and I think it's her best acting by far. Actually, I might ask her that. Instead of asking about a movie, say, what is the movie you feel like you had the best performance in? I would be curious on what her answer would be. That would actually be an interesting answer.
Well, I mean, I'll give you her safe answer on the Resident Evil movies.
All right, go ahead.
She feels that they are fun, action-packed, guilty pleasure films rather than serious highbrow cinema. She defends them.
When did she give that quote? When?
Hold on. She defends him as a labor of love created by her and her husband, aimed at delivering entertaining zombie fun.
And she said this when?
Hold
What
on,
year?
looking.
Does it say?
I'm looking. It's on the Wikipedia, so I'm looking for the year.
I need context on that, when that is.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking. Give me a minute, man.
Because I got two things to say to that response.
Research takes time. Hold on.
Okay. While you're researching,
Yeah.
that's a very specific choice of words. Because when she said
That's why I
labor of
figured I'd
love
bring
for
it.
her and her husband,
Yeah.
I don't know that doesn't mean that she enjoyed the physicality of it, but thought the movies were garbage. That's a labor of love. My husband wanted to make them. I love him. And I got to do a lot of physical work. Therefore, labor of love. That term might be doing a lot of heavy lifting, is what I'm saying.
I can't find the year.
Okay, so if she said that right after the last one wrapped, bullshit. That means nothing, because she's still active. If she said it in the midst of filming the last one, especially, or even like shortly thereafter, because remember, Screen Gems made a bunch of movies with her.
Yeah.
So, are you really going to talk shit on your cash cow? I don't think so. Right? Again, this is the problem with this is one of the things that I utterly hate about the world. One of many things I utterly hate about people and the world. And this is getting into a broad thing, but still it applies. Even on the micro, we're going macro, but it applies micro too. You really can't trust anything anybody says. You just can't. Unless you know them, unless it's like you and me saying something to each other, or me and my wife, or you and your wife. You can't trust anything. So everything somebody says, and the more their ability to live depends on a public persona and things being said, the less you can trust it. Therefore, I don't believe anything she says in public. Nothing. Nothing. Because it's all architected.
Well, you have.
It has to be. That's what I'm saying. So this is the corrosive.
By the way,
this is the goddamn alien xenomorph acid blood problem with this shit.
Was
and
there
everything.
a Resident Evil reboot?
Yeah, Welcome to Raccoon City. I saw it. It was.
I think you reviewed it.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't as bad as I thought some people made. Again, I don't have the attachment to the series that a lot of people do. This is not a Kovac series for me.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with things that other people are not. I didn't think it was that good. It certainly wasn't better than the first Resident Evil by any stretch. But would I watch it again over some of the later ones? Yeah, I probably would. Because it was shot better. There's some dumb shit in it, don't get me wrong. But there's dumb shit in all of them. So,
I just realized I'd completely forgotten there was a reboot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there will be another one. Then they did a series on Netflix, which remember I reviewed that and they killed it.
Then
so
they did a
whatever.
second reboot, Resident Evil 2026.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that hasn't come out yet. They're working on it.
I was going to say, that's not out yet, so I can't judge it. I ain't seen it. But it'll probably be bad. I don't know why, but it probably will be. The animated ones are supposedly good. I've never seen any of them, but I hear they're good. But that's, But to get back to the original point, that's the problem with any of this stuff, where I sit there and I wonder about it. You're never going to get a straight answer.
No,
unless somebody really...
Unless they write a tell-all book after the fact, when they're like, old and dying.
Once in a while, rarely, you get somebody who seems to literally not give a fuck. For example, Harlan Ellison, who seemed to be ready to burn every bridge that he even looked at.
He didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's a rare example.
I use Harlan Ellison as an example of like someone basically like don't meet your heroes type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Where like Harlan Ellison, like creative but bastard. Oh yeah, I think.
But that's what I'm saying. Harlan Ellison.
We told the story about him smacking the producer's girlfriend, right?
I don't think we ever talked about it on the show. Go ahead.
Supposedly.
Well, I remember us talking about it, but I don't think we ever brought this up on the show.
Yeah, supposedly.
Allegedly. Say allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly, supposedly. There was a story that when somebody was making a documentary about Harlan Ellison at the wrap party, the producer made the mistake of sitting his kind of young trophy girlfriend next to Harlan Ellison, and she basically just annoyed the shit out of him. And finally it got to a point where he slapped her and was just like, just told her to shut up and told the producer to get his trash girlfriend out of there. And the producer did, because he didn't know what else to do. And everyone was like, and then the producer left, and Harlan Ellison just kept on going like nothing was nothing, and everyone was kind of like, yeah, that's Harlan Ellison right there. I mean, you know, and the terrible part about it is that whether it's true or not, from everything I've read about Harlan Ellison and everyone I've spoken to who has met Harlan Ellison, because science fiction writers is a smaller world than you think sometimes. Yeah, he sounds like a brilliant pain in the ass sometimes.
But what I'm saying is that's a rarity.
Very rare.
I'll tell you this too. One of my favorite, and yours too, probably my favorite comedian of all time, George Carlin. George Carlin, I remember doing interviews where, and he would, even in his shows, he would talk about the fact that he was completely disconnected from humanity. That he looked at humans as ants, and he just sat back and delighted in people dying.
He was the nicest guy.
And so there's a part of me that sits there and goes, was that true or was it an act? And I don't know. I don't know. And this is somebody who I have idolized all my life as a comedian.
I don't think you get that angry unless you do care. I think it's the caring that gets you that angry.
Yes, because he was married for a long time. No stories have ever come out that he was terrible to his wife or daughter.
I mean, there were some stories. There were some stories by his daughter about drug use. That's about it.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's everybody in the public life, which tells you something too. But it's also possible that he was only good to the people in his inner circle. That's possible too. Yeah. Tribalism.
No. But here's the thing. I never read mean things about George Carlin.
Right, but he
was outspoken. He was witty. He stood by his guns. Yes. But he was also polite. But I remember him being on Dennis Miller's HBO show, and him saying stuff about the military and the troops. And Dennis Miller was like, "No, you're not being serious." He's like, "No, I'm dead serious. I don't give a fuck about any of it." And like some of the stuff he was saying was, horrific. I think you can give a fuck about your world and your immediate town and your world.
No, I know, but but I don't know whether that complete lack of interest in anybody outside the inner circle was real or it was an act. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying is I'm not sure.
Listen, I often say to people that I love my kids so much that if tomorrow you said to me, it's your kid's life or half the planet, right? And my response is usually, well, that sucks for half the planet, right? That's not a saying. Like, that's not just an idiom. That is a true belief. I care implicitly about a very small group of people. And like I am one of these people that when I care hard. I adore certain people with like kind of all my being. It's a very small group. Beyond that, I think that you should always be polite and fair, right? But if you're going to act beyond that, like a son of a bitch, then you deserve whatever you get. So, do I care if certain people get themselves mangled and destroyed for their own stupid, rude, piece of shit decisions? No, I don't care, because you did it to yourself. You could have been nice. You could have worked with the group. You could have tried to make everything better for the whole. It is polite to make things better for the whole. But if you choose not to do that, then no, go fuck yourself. I don't care what happens to you. So
I agree. My point was more about whether he was really honest about what he was saying. And that is my larger point about, I don't know that I believe what anybody who depends on any type of public attention says. That's my larger point. Is
Okay.
whether they're right or wrong is besides the point.
you
It's
know
whether what
Listen,
they're proclaiming
to some
is real
degree,
or not.
To some degree, I think that's probably the anomaly of this show. There's a lot of shit that we probably shouldn't talk about. That I do worry now and then. You know, it's funny is that I actually have this show on my resume because I've done it for so long, I'm always prepared to tell people, well, you know, I'm playing up. It's a character, you know. I'm playing it up, but yeah, I know, right? But the joke of it is that like I've just done it for so long, and like if you listen, it's like, I'm sure. I've said to my wife before, I'm sure at some point, something's gonna happen. It's gonna be because I was on this show, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I'd still fucking do it. It's very possible that program that I didn't get into recently, someone sat down and listened to the podcast. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to hold my tongue. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to say what I want to say. I don't give a shit, and that's one of my strengths. I am not famous. I'm not important. All I can do is be honest. And that's what I do.
Okay, and see, this is exactly what I'm getting into. If you ended up, let's say you were the I don't know, you were making that you were the only source of income for your household, right? Let's just reframe this, right? And tomorrow, wherever you worked, said, okay, we know you do this show on the side, but you either have to stop doing it or we have to let you go. You're going to stop doing it because your family has to survive, and that's what I'm talking about.
But
yeah,
what I would actually do is make sure that I never put myself in that position in the first place.
Oh, okay. I'm giving you a hypothetical, which I'm applying to these people in the public space.
Yeah, I know, but you're creating a hypothetical situation to create a decision. But I mean,
well, no, I'm emphasizing that the decisions for people who have to rely on public perception more than you or I do.
Yeah, you have to give a shit. If you're an actor and you want everyone to fucking love you because you're an actor and you want to be loved, right? Yes. Then yes, there's a lot of them that are like, okay, I'm not going to say anything weird. I'm going to avoid politics. Hey, listen, what's her name? The fucking Mandalorian, who got kicked off.
Cara, whatever her name is. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever her name is. Yeah.
No, sure.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Gina Carano. Got it.
Yeah, Gina Carano.
Got it.
Yeah, Disney came to her and said, hey, shut the fuck up on Twitter. That's all we ask. Yeah. Stop being so political. And it wasn't even like don't be Republican. It was just shut the fuck up.
Right.
And we don't need this on us either. And then she was like, you sons of bitches, and I'm going to say whatever I want. And they were like, you know what? You're not on the show anymore.
All right. Say whatever you want from another job.
You can say whatever you want. And it's the whole, you know what? I don't even think it was about what your opinions were. I think it's that you wouldn't just shut the fuck up.
Oh, no, it absolutely was the attitude. No doubt about it.
You know?
They would have scrubbed right over that. She could have issued a milquetoast apology like most others have. About, it doesn't represent me. It's not a reflection of myself. And I strive to do better, blah, 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 blah. Nobody would care. It would be a 15-minute thing and it would go on and she would have made a bunch of money. So yes, it was a dumbass move by somebody who had their head too far up their ass to see what the fucking, what was going on in the world. But
yeah, and the thing is, she was about to get her own show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she fucking...
No, But this is my point about... There really would not be any actual benefit for me to interview somebody who's in movies.
Unless they were at the end of their career.
There's no point.
Yeah.
Unless they were completely and utterly disconnected.
You know who was really good at being kind of like carefully honest?
Yeah.
Christopher Lee. He was really good at like insulting people in the nicest possible way. Like when he was talking about like a director and he was like, well, I didn't really agree with, how he did things. Like he was just so polite about basically.
Well, or the guy who I've played the clip of him saying, I don't give a fuck about Al Pacino, the director, who didn't give a shit. He just made his movies and he made good movies and he felt like he was bulletproof and he just said all kinds of fucked up shit. And of course I can't remember his name now, but also apparently a bit of an asshole. Oh God, he's the guy who's got the famous quote. I don't give a fuck what I don't give a fuck at a rolling donut what Al Pacino thinks is the quote. I've played it on here before, and of course I don't have it anymore
William
because
Friedkin.
I didn't know how often I would play it. That's it, William Friedkin.
Yeah.
That's him. Yes, there's a great clip of him saying, literally, I don't give a fuck at a rolling donut what Al Pacino thinks. It's a great quote. I mean, you watch the sound clip and he means it. I mean, sounds like a real
there you go.
piece of work. Yeah,
A rolling donut about what
a
Al
rolling
Pacino
donut. That's
thinks.
it. I thought it was flying. Yeah, what Al Pacino thinks. It's a great quote. But that's
I
you
don't
get
give
a
a
lot
flying
of directors
fuck.
saying that.
I don't give a flying fuck into a rolling donut. What Al Pacino
Rolling donut.
thinks.
What Al Pacino thinks.
Hey.
Now that's somebody that I would tend to give a little bit more weight when they say something and go, okay, that guy might mean it. I still wouldn't necessarily believe it all, but I believe it more than some random director, like, who's still working. That's what I'm saying. That's the world. And that's what sucks about it, is that everybody is architecting things, but even more so those whose livelihood depends on public
created
perception.
a whole imagery based on this stuff,
Yes. And look, here as a brief aside into the stupidity of the self-censoring morons, we all do it. Those of us who have to interact with the general public in any way, we all self-censor. You don't walk into a place
Listen,
generally.
It's important to read a room and know what you're dealing with and know when you can have different kinds of humor. There's different jokes that you and I make at different times that we can get away with. We're not going to go on about Darth Maul's dick in a workplace, No. And there are many times where people cross when they're not supposed to be crossing a crosswalk, and I'm so tempted to just nudge them with my car and be like, hey, asshole. Obviously, I don't do that, even though I should. So we all do that. That's why people nudge them out into traffic or to yell at them?
No. I mean, if somebody crosses and they're jaywalking, I'm very tempted, when the light's green and they're still in the crosswalk, even though the fucking thing counted down to 0 10 minutes ago or whatever, I'm very, very tempted to just roll forward enough to bump them so they fall down.
Oh, you as a driver, got it. I thought you were standing there with them.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a driver. No. No, if I was staying there, I'd say take out a BB gun and shoot them in the ass.
It's amazing that you're a New Yorker and you think that, because in New Yorker, the huge waves of humans just rush across the road, and they're like, go ahead, kill us, asshole.
Well, but that's okay.
And then you're like, I can't afford that.
Well, yes, but also they have the advantage of there being so many that your car wouldn't make it through them. You would beach on them. Yes, you would bank on them like a whale. These are onesie twosie assholes who could just move a little bit quicker or wait, or that's what I'm saying is we all do that. So the idea that self-censorship is some kind of thing, yeah, exactly. Is what I'm getting at. So it means nothing in terms of the movies. But to get back to the movies as we finish up here, now that we've wandered so far afield as usual, the movies, this has been the most interesting week.
I think it's all part of the larger statement.
I guess you're right. But that's why, would I ever really want to talk to an actor? Probably not. Because what would we say? I might try to circle an interesting question and it wouldn't go anywhere.
I'll be honest with you.
With most.
I've never had an interest in actors, really, because at the end of the day, they're just playing other people's roles. They're just being other people.
Okay. But I'm not interested in the actor. I'm interested in the stories about the movies.
No, I know that. And that's always interesting, but you're never going to hear it, like you said. Yeah.
And
until they make like documentaries later on and they catch people unawares and all kinds of fucked up shit happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest shame about it, because I do think that it's like Ultraviolet. Holy shit, man. Do you think I don't want to sit down with the director and Mila and say, okay, we are going to spend like an hour and a half
I don't think that director wants to talk to anybody at this point. He just got his career back.
That's the show I'm interested in.
I know,
I don't want to hear about, it's wonderful when you get a great script and a wonderful... whatever, man. I have all that shit. Yeah. That's all the promotional. Yeah.
No, and listen, that's why...
I want to hear about the fact that this guy went into a fucking bathroom, punched a fucking mirror, did a line of coke just to make it through, because some producer came down and said, yeah, we're cutting your fucking effects budget by 80%, but you'll be okay with the shots we have that are half done in post, right? And he went, what the fuck? And then they threw him off the lot. Like, that's the story I want. We're never going to get that.
No.
But I'm betting that's the story.
No, you're not.
You know?
Yeah. No.
So. At least.
Yeah. This is, like you said, it's been an interesting week of movies.
It has. Yeah. This has been. I really did not expect some of the roller coaster that this has been. I genuinely, when we started off, thought that most of these movies were going to be Survivor types, where it's going to be like, okay, this is sort of forgettable. She looks good. Movie's okay. I'll forget about it in 10 minutes. But Perfect Getaway, fucking train wreck. What was the other terrible one? Hellboy. Oh my God. Nice. I will say, it was fun. Hellboy, I will give this credit to. It evoked a 14-year-old fanboy anger out of me, which was nice, because I don't have that reaction much anymore. I kind of don't care.
Yeah.
But it was nice to really get angry at a movie because, you know what? I like to have my irrational anger at stupid stuff. That's the fun stuff to be angry at a perversion of something that I actually understand. That was good. It was fun. It's nice to vent some bile in a world that's full of misery and be able to direct it at something that is easy. The Resident Evil films they really are a education on how to take a fun, if flawed, adaptation and grind it into the ground until the face and fucking dentures come out of it, where it's unrecognizable, where you have destroyed the face of something so badly that they can't even use dental records to identify it. That's that. And then these three movies were fascinating because something different, entertaining, but definitely not going to appeal to everybody. Something that appeared to be tailor-made for mainstream success, bomb. And then a movie with a tremendously well-executed single idea surrounded by first draft writing that should have been fixed up, over the course of a weekend with a couple of tweaks here and there. So this has been the most interesting week in a series of movies where, honestly, the ones that are going to be the anchors are the first and last ones. Resident Evil and The Fifth Element are going to end up being the ones that we say are the best of all this, and we knew they would be.
All right, so in closing, you have to
Yes.
you have to do your reviews for these three movies. You got to do your meal reviews.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got so lost in it. So, World Breaker. World Breaker, as we said, interesting. I think definitely is going to have a more niche audience, but I think those people might really appreciate it, especially if you are somebody who wants to see an interesting father-daughter kind of movie, because I think it does work. I think parents might actually like this quite a bit, because there is an interesting relationship between the father and daughter. As you said, there's a lot of accuracy there, which you can judge far better than I can. So that by itself makes it a movie worth seeing. So I would call that a good movie. So as far as the movie itself, interesting concept, interesting storytelling idea, some variation in interpretation. So as a movie, worth seeing. Mila is not really in it all that much. However, she is a super-powered individual who is really the lead of the defense for humanity. And she looks awesome, as she always does. And she uses both guns and close-up weaponry. So, from Mila's standpoint, excellent. 10 out of 10.
I've been waiting for you.
No complaints. Survivor. Survivor's the trickiest one to really give a rating for, because I don't know what to make of it. I would never watch it again. It has some glaring flaws, and yet it is very functional.
It's just not a bad one either,
Yeah, I don't have unfortunately, I guess I have to get the mediocre thing from Fury Road. That probably would have been the best one, because I don't have a middle of the road sound effect that I can think of. Do I have a middle of the road sound effect? I don't. I don't. Here, you know what? Here, I'll give it this.
Oh, time to whack off.
That's the best I can come for a middle of the. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else to use. So as far as the movie, that's fine, yeah. I'll give it a whack off. And then as far as Mila, she looks great. She has a lot to do. She's an intelligent character. She's not a damsel in distress. She's trying to solve the problem. Everybody's trying to tell her that she's wrong, when in fact she's always right. And she looks spectacular and gets to run around and do different things. So she looks great, 10 out of 10.
I've been waiting for you.
And then when we get to Faces in the Crowd, the movie itself, outside, all right, we'll rate it in two parts. The gimmick of the face blindness, fucking amazing. Great. Executed well, works as a simple, non-supernatural way to constantly have your character being stressed out and you as the audience as well, which is a rare trick to really invoke a tension, this kind of constant, not even fear, but this unsettled nature of things that are very ordinary, almost like a liminal spaces type of thing, but in people, by just shifting. And I love the fact that they cast different actors. I cannot stress enough that the cheap shit way to do this would have been to be some digital bullshit face effect. And instead, they had 15 versions of the boyfriend, which is fucking impressive in an age where CG dominates everything. Just the better way to do it, and does make it where you are as off balance as the character. So that I think is great. Everything else, dog shit. Dog shit. Badly written. Ineptly structured reasoning, motives. Things happen where there seem to be entire sequences missing. We'll give another fucking awful sound effect for that stupid facial hair, which I would almost believe
cop,
was CG'd
the main
on.
Cop. Yeah, the main cop had this terrible goatee that looks so fake on his face.
If I were to find out that they used the same technology that they used on the Witcher guy, Cavill, remember when he had the facial hair and they wanted him to do Superman reshoots and he refused to shave? So they CG'd it and he looked like a blurred mess?
Yeah.
Yeah. If they told me the reverse was done with this, where they CG'd that facial hair on, I would believe it because it looks like shit. Terrible. In terms of whoever made that decision...
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
You fucked up. Now, in terms of Mila's function in the film, I think she has at least one scene where she's doing some very good acting. I can't criticize anything as far as her, except her preternatural ability to survive death impacts, but that's been the case since the fucking Resident Evil movies. Monster Hunter, she got rolled like an alligator shaking a fucking child, and she lived through 4 or 5 of those with no visible injuries or even mild concussion. So whatever. But like I said, one really good scene where I think she's doing some great acting. She looks spectacular, no surprise there. So 10 out of 10.
I've been waiting for you.
And there you have it. So really, we're going to have one more movie left, which is a fucking lock, which is The Fifth Element. I mean, I don't know that we'll even review it. We're going to watch it because it'll be nice to bookend this thing with a movie that's just genuinely spectacular and entertaining. So we'll probably mention it, but really this was the end of the experiment, if you want to put it that way, where up to this point, because again, Fifth Element's almost disqualification. Would you agree that of everything we've watched, the first Resident Evil is still the best one?
Of all the movies we watched?
Of all the movies we've watched thus far.
Oh, you know, considering that I threw the rest of them out. Yes, I would say that the first Resident Evil is probably the best movie.
Well, because it's the 6 Resident Evils, Hellboy, Perfect Getaway, and these 3.
Yeah. I mean, listen, she's fine in Dazed and Confused, but she's like in it for 2 minutes. So
I don't even consider that. Yeah, she's not in it. I mean, she's in it less than Worldbreaker.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's a more important character in Worldbreaker than she is in Dazed and Confused.
She's a humongous character, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So yes, the first one is the best one, which is the first Resident Evil, which still holds up. Outside of that, I mean, the only movies I would explicitly tell you to avoid, really. I'm not even going to say Hellboy because it has its fans. That's fine. She's great in it.
But listen,
you don't care,
it's not a good Hellboy movie.
But if you don't know Hellboy and you like the movie, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. Like whatever you like. So that movie
No. It's all in our opinion. In our opinion, we don't like it, but everyone can like what they like. That's the beauty of it.
So that's the thing is Perfect Getaway. I think is just a terrible movie. I think that's an insult of a movie in terms of how it handles that turnaround. It's awful. Don't watch that. I'll tell you that. Don't watch that. Unless, again, much like Faces in the Crowd, unless you're a aspiring filmmaker of some type and you want to see something that has some glaring flaws that could have worked if somebody handled it better. I think Perfect Getaway and Faces in the Crowd should be remade. I would love to see those remade. Basically the same ideas, but with better filmmaking applied to them.
Directors.
That would be interesting. Well, I mean, again, Perfect Getaway. Didn't David Twohy write and direct that one too?
Yep.
I think he did
that's
both.
The curse.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So see, what I'm saying is, I don't know whether the problem was in the writing, the directing, or trying to do both. I really
or
don't.
That
because
there was no one there
hard.
to check on the other person.
There you go. And that's what I'm saying. So whatever those problems were, if you know how to solve them, please do. There's an example. Don't make another Resident Evil movie, which is going to bomb, and people will hate it because you can't do it right for some reason. Make one of these things and make it better. Please remake these.
You know what? Or make something new.
Well, no, okay, yeah, make some. Well, because I think, there's always going to be remakes. We know this.
Yep,
it's going to happen.
That's true.
So if that's the case, leave the stuff that worked alone and find the defects. This is what we've said. So here's two great defects. Now, of the two, I would want to see Faces in the Crowd remade. That's the one I'd like to see. I said Brian De Palma. I'll stick with that, but
just don't
unavailable.
CG it. Use that face trick.
No, and make the stuff around it more intelligent. Leave that concept alone, redo it the same way, basically, and fix all the problems around it. And then I think you got something. So, yeah. Like I said, we'll have one more movie to watch, but this is basically the end of the main part of the experiment. So on that note, we've reviewed them all. That's what I would say out of all of them. I think you got two good remake candidates. I think you got one good, legitimately good movie. And then there's a lot of variation in between. A lot of variation.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, okay, here's the final question. Your opinion on this. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's been bad in any of it. I have no blame to lay at her feet as far as her roles.
In any of it. No, I wouldn't lay any of this at her feet.
Yeah. I mean, even Perfect Getaway, listen, she's a little inconsistent, but...
She's not great in some of this stuff, but she's also not the reason it's bad.
Yeah, I think there are moments throughout some of these films where you can see the potential that she has, that she can be a good actress. She's having a lot of fun in Future World. I forgot about that one. A lot of fun. And worth it for the scene where she gets shot. Let's be honest. Worth it all for that.
No,
worth watching
listen.
for that.
When she double shoots herself in the neck with like fucking venom and then proceeds to kill her way across the room, I wanted her to win.
Me too. Knew she wouldn't, but wanted her to. So, yeah, there you have it. That is the Mila March experiment basically done. So on that note, we have provided a lot of material for you to choose, or if you are not a Mila fan, I guess, completely ignore. So either way, we have sprinkled in these nice little flavor croutons of Sith genitals and things like that. So it isn't completely about her.
God.
So you're welcome? Question mark? Question mark?
Sith genitals. Honestly, that should almost be the title right there.
Well, I still could change it. It's a long title though. Flavor Sith genital. Let's see. Hold
Flavor
on.
crystals of Sith genitals. No, you know what?
How about Sith?
If you're gonna shorten it, then don't use it.
Oh, I was almost gonna say Sith genital flavor crystals is a little bit shorter.
Oh, that has a nice zing to it though. Yeah, you're right.
Sith genital flavor crystals. Yeah, I like that. That's a mysterious one. That's one where you sit there and go, how? No, it is, because I think people realize I don't generally just make up titles that have nothing to do with what we're talking about. I try to pull something out. Speaking of Sith genitals, but so that's my goal, if I have any, with the titles, is to try to get you when you see it, and you're not going to listen to it for like a day or two or ever, or maybe some people see the titles and go, I'm not listening to that one. which I wouldn't blame you for. But to some degree, it is almost a thing where I want to engender. I wasn't even going for that. I'm trying to conjure. Holy shit! Total episodes 4,805. Wow. Anyway, I just happened to see that. I'm trying to create an air of mystery. Like, okay, how? How is this relevant? And it will be. As you know now, it was. So, and it's good because my favorite way to do it, when I can, is to have whatever we're referring to not be at the very beginning, not be at the very end, but kind of be in the middle. So it's almost like a drinking game where if they say the title of the movie during the movie, you take a drink. It's like that. It's like, oh, when is the title going to be relevant? If I hit it about dead fucking center, that's where I want it. So on that note, everybody, we hope you've enjoyed. Do we? I don't know. We don't even care. If we did, these shows wouldn't be 2 hours and 54 minutes.
I had a good time. You know what? If I wasn't having a good time, I wouldn't be here for the 2 hours and 53 minutes that I've been here so far.
That's a good point.
So
that's a good point.
I'm enjoying myself.
In the end, we're total hedonists because all we really care about is our own self-pleasure when it comes to these shows. So if you get some from it, then good. But if not, we do. So on that note, whatever you do with your weekend, Sith involving or not, enjoy it, and we'll talk to you again next week. Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes, browse through our back catalog, or to find links to support the show. Follow @OzoneNightmare on Twitter for the latest episode postings and other show information. If 280 characters just isn't enough, you can always email us, theozonenightmare@gmail.com. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.